gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ ọ̀dọ́ tá a jọ ń káàkiri ọ̀dọ́jọ́ ni wá ẹ má jẹ́ kí a fi àyè gba Fúlàní lórí ilẹ̀ àwọn bàbá wa ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú ọba mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú jòyè mọ́ nígbà tá a la fẹ́ jà fún àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa táwa ń kọ́kọ́ ń bú ọba tá à ń bú jòyè èmi náà ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ rí bọ́mọ pẹ́rẹ́ àmì padà ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú àgbààgbà kankan mọ́ ẹ má bolóṣèlú kankan ẹ̀rù kálukú ń bẹ̀rù wọn ò lè sọ̀rọ̀ ọba ò lè sọ ìjòyè lè sọ ẹ jẹ́ ká ronú ẹ má jẹ́ ká bá àwọn bàbá jà mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ àbàrà pẹ̀lú wọn àwọn àgbà tán bá jó lóṣèlú tá a bá fẹ́ kọ́ wọn rìn wá lọ́wọ́ á gbé wọn mọ́ra á gbé wọn mọ́ra ni à ní bú wọn mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ àṣejẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ má jẹ́ àdàlúrú a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì ṣèjẹ̀gbọ́n a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì yìnbọn a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì dàlúrú gbogbo protest mo ṣe ní ìlú Nàìjíríà mi ò rí ibi tí mo ti ẹnìkan lè sọ pé mo pààyàn tàbí mo jó nǹkan náà tàbí mo bà nǹkan jẹ́ mo lọ písù torí pé olówó lèmi náà tí ò bá sólówó lára ń dì mọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tọ́lọ́run fún yẹn lọ́lọ́run fún mi mi ṣe tálákà tó dé pé mo dìde fúnjà Yorùbá big man ni mi àwọn tó jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi tó súnmọ́ mi tó ní owó ní kí ni mo wá lọ bẹ̀ pé sọ́wọ́ lè mi mò ń fẹ́ ni kí n sọ yìí tí mo fẹ́ mo ní ìsọ̀rọ̀ owó àní ọ̀rọ̀ ìran mi ni mò ń sọ kí n wọ gbowó kí n gbéra kí n pé mò ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ ọba àgbowó mò ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ oníbodè òfin gbowó kí n kójó wọlé kọ́kàn mi balẹ̀ kí n dá wa mọ́tò kí n mọ́ rìn bọ̀ kí Fúlàní mọ́ dá mi dúró títì kí n délé kí bàbá sọ pé kí n gbé tírélà sùn kí n mọ́ gbé lọ àwọn bàbá wo lè lóko mọ́ wọn ò lè lódò ẹ jẹ́ ká fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ká ti àwọn bàbá wa lẹ́yìn ká dá security ti wa lẹ̀ ká sọ fún wọn kí wọ́n bá wa fọwọ́ tì í ká lé wọn kó nu oko wa ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ Jésù Olúwa wa.
KOIKIMEDIA, we're bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
KOIKIMEDIA, 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 we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
KOIKIMEDIA, 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 we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Àwọn sálára àgbà yìí dá, àwa ló láṣà àti èdè. Gbígbédè lárugẹ nílẹ̀ Oòduà o, àwa gangan ni bàbá.
KOIKIMEDIA, 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 we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
They never sabi wetin we carry for her.
But they move closer before they go sabi.
I said they never know wetin we carry for body.
But they move closer before they go sabi.
Ọ̀kín lọ lọ́jà ẹyẹ, kìnìún ló ló lajú.
Ẹyẹ tó lórí kodò bí àdán ọgbẹ́jẹ lẹ́nu.
Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ilẹ̀ bàbá wa, ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìlú bàbá wa, ká jùmọ̀ sowọ́pọ̀ ká lè gbódùdúwà ga.
Odùduwà kò bá lè gbé wá.
Ọmọ Odùduwà ṣe gírí, ẹ dìde fún ẹ̀tọ́ adúláwọ̀, ká lè jọ jùmọ̀ gbé délẹ̀ ìlérí, káwa lè gba ògo ilẹ̀ wa, ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká lè jọ gbàdé, ká lè gbàdé adé adúláwọ̀, àwa ni mọ̀lẹ̀ tí yóò tàn káàkiri.
Pé ọmọ Odùduwà ni wá.
KOIKIMEDIA, àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tiwa mọ́ ni.
Kásá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wá kájé bùgbà yín jẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tiwa mọ́ ni.
À ń gbé tó lárugẹ, à ń gbàsà lárugẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tiwa mọ́ ni.
News and sports ẹ máa rí gbọ́.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tiwa mọ́ ni.
Ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi ló ní kí n máa ké tantan. KOIKIMEDIA ọlọ́lá gbajúmọ̀ mi o, máa bá ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ o. Ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn, ọmọ Yorùbá tata o. À ń gbádùn rẹ, ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi, ṣẹ́yìn ló máa fi dìbò tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ o. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa ń dé máa dé, ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa wọ̀ o. Igbó máa wọ̀ kájòjì ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọ̀, àjòjì tó bá wọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ á tẹ̀lé ní ẹbọra. Ẹ̀yin lọ máa náwó, ìgbà tó yìnbó dé o owó náà dẹ́ tún pọ̀ sí o Koiki Media ṣàwa ní bàbá. Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Àdáńtọ́ àtúnpèrègèdè.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Àwa là ń gbé tò lárugẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ o.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Àtúnjàfẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Ọmọ Òdùwà ni wá o tọkàntọkàn.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Ikú tí ó ṣe bí lébi òsì àdìmú bàbá iyọ̀.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
We bring you up closer to your doorstep.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Afẹ́fẹ́ tó ń fẹ́ òòdùn kan kí oko lára ni.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Àpèrègèdè Olódùmarè ló fún wa ṣe.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Gbogbo ayé ẹ gbọ́ àwa ní bàbá o.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Ẹ máa bọ̀ wá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà yín wá o.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Òdùdúwà lágbédá ní òtítọ́ lágbédá ní.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
A kì í sọ̀dálẹ̀, a kì í sódìkẹta.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Àdúró tán, a tún pèrègèdè.
Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá.
Koiki Media we bring you up closer to your doorstep.
Àwọn ní bàbá.
Koiki Media is around.
To give us latest.
Is around o.
Give us latest.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó pójú gbogbo.
ladies and gentlemen,
Ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó pójú gbogbo.
Koiki Media is around.
To give us
called Nigeria. There is no language called Nigeria. There are no people called Nigerians. We are only deceiving ourselves.
We are not Nigerian.
Okay, where is Nigeria where is the land called Nigeria? What is the Nigerian language? We are nations that had been forced together to live in one pathetic country. So anybody who goes there today to say pray for Nigeria, that person is just deceiving himself, because the people who want to be that Nigeria had not sat down to agree if they want to be Nigeria.
Happy Sunday and welcome once again. And as usual, is a mobile studio, so there will be those family conversation on the background. Is a Sunday. They're aware that I'm doing my program and they're doing their best to reduce their own conversation. But as usual, we are family-loving people, Omo Yoruba. So that means if you're one of those that probably will moan or complain because of the background noise, please, I beg you, you are not worth sitting down in the broadcast. But fẹ́yìn tí ẹjọ́ lólùfẹ́ wa tẹ́tí mọ̀ pé àwọn ọmọ Oòduà yín náà ló ń pariwo lẹ́yìn ìjọ Sunday àti prepare wọn kó padà lọ sí orí bed, but wọ́n ìtìtì lọ sùn torí pé kí ni wọ́n sì ń sọ pé aago ìtìtò táwọn máa lọ sùn aago 7:30 ló lù lọ́dọ̀ tiwa ní èní a máa jẹ́ ọjọ́ kẹta nínú oṣù kẹta ọdún 2024. Tabarẹ́ ní tó bá lè bá mi fi sínú comment section kí ló ń pè ní 2024 ní èdè Yorùbá bí a máa gbìyànjú láti lè sọ. Mo máa ń kí gbogbo wa pé ṣé dáadáa ni mo bá yín, ẹ má bínú pé ó pẹ́ kí a tó wọlé nítorí pé irú èní báyìí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ iṣẹ́ náà ni à ń ṣe látara family job ní o, kò ń ṣiṣẹ́ Yorùbá nìkan, torí kò ń ṣiṣẹ́ Yorùbá nìkan ni mo gbé dání. Èmi náà ní mọ̀lẹ́bí, mo ní family tí mo fẹ́ tọ́jú, mo dẹ̀ ní family tí wọ́n look up to me. So there are so many things that we do behind the background. Mo kí ọba Elédùmarè tó ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá látara gbogbo àwọn tí Ọlọ́run kó àṣẹ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lé lọ́wọ́, nítorí pé níbì kan ni a ti ṣẹ̀ wá kó tó di pé àwọn amúnisìn lọ kó gbogbo àpapọ̀. Mo lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ lọ kí gbogbo àwọn tó jẹ́ orí adé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá láì yọ ẹnì kankan sílẹ̀. Màá máa kí bàbá wa dáadáa, bàbá wa Ọ̀jájá the second, the Ooni of Ife CFR, àwọn ni àrólé Oòduà. Ẹ bá ń sọ pé kábíyèsí àbí torí pé ìrójú mi èmi náà má ti ṣí fìlà forí adé. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n wo bí a mo lè squeeze kámẹ́rà mi wọnú ẹ̀, torí pé kí ni bíyàn bá ń rí àwọn kábíyèsí wa inú wa máa dùn látara pé iṣẹ́ tó gbé dání iṣẹ́ Oòduà náà ni àwa ń dúpẹ́ fún wọn látara bẹ́ẹ̀. Mo kí gbogbo orí adé, mo ṣí fìlà fún orí adé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Mo ní kábíyèsí o, kí adé pẹ́ lórí, kí ìrùkẹ̀rẹ̀ ṣe kinní kan ló máa ń sọ. Ẹ má bínú pé àwọn ọmọ yín tí a ti wà nílùú òyìnbó ó tójọ́ mẹ́ta nígbà tí máa rí kábíyèsí. I believe that was about a ti máa tó bí ọdún méje nígbà tó wá sí London tí a host wọn ní London ní bíbá. Mo wà lára àwọn mídíà tó dìde láti lọ pàdé kábíyèsí. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín o, a máa tún láǹfààní àti rí yín láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà lórí Communique tó jáde ní Palace, ìyẹn lọ́dọ̀dọ̀ ilẹ̀ Oòduà ní Security Summit tí wọ́n ṣe. Òun ni mo fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí torí pé àwọn kábíyèsí wa ti send Communique sí KOIKIMEDIA. Ó dẹ̀ ti di dandan pé iṣẹ́ tí Koiki gbé dání iṣẹ́ Yorùbá náà ni. Tó bá dẹ̀ ti relate mọ́ gbogbo nǹkan Odùduwà ó ti di dandan pé èmi náà ni wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ bá níbẹ̀. Mo ní èmi gangan ní bàbá Yorùbá, àmọ́ ká tó máa sọ pé èmi ní bàbá Yorùbá a gbọ́dọ̀ ní àwọn Ooni of Ife oríṣi bàbá Yorùbá. Àwọn gangan ní bàbá Yorùbá, èmi kàn jẹ́ látara àwọn ọmọ tí Oòduà bí kalẹ̀. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àtẹ̀ bá ní Koiki àfẹ́ Yorùbá nation tẹ́ ń pè yẹn ṣe jẹ́ ká pè ní Oduduwa Republic àbí ká pè ní Oduduwa Kingdom. Nígbà tásìkò yẹn bá tó, kò sórúkọ tí a lè pè. Gbogbo orúkọ tá à ń lò nísìnyí it is just for the purpose of pé a gbọ́dọ̀ máa pè ní orúkọ kan. Látara bẹ́ẹ̀ mo wá kí gbogbo orí adé tó ń bẹ ní gbogbo káàárọ̀ òjíire láti Kwara títí dé ìsàlẹ̀ láì yọ ẹnì kankan sílẹ̀. Gbogbo ibi tí olúkálukú yín wà tẹ́ ń bá wa dilé mú, à ń bẹ̀ yín, à ń rọ̀ yín pé kẹ́ túbọ̀ ṣe kí ni ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ kí a túra sílẹ̀, torí pé àsìkò yóò kì í ṣe àsìkò tí a máa túra sílẹ̀, torí pé àwọn jàǹdùkú, àwọn terrorist, kódà bí a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn náà ń fi ohùn padà. Lára àwọn ohùn tó ń fi sílẹ̀ òun náà ni pé wọ́n ní bàbá wa lóyè Ìgbòho ń béèrè fún Oduduwa nation. Wọ́n ní kó arrest ẹ̀. Mo ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn Miyetti Allah rí, àtúnsọ díẹ̀ nípa wọn, torí pé báwo ni wọ́n ṣe di pé wọ́n ní agbára nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà lénìí. Ìyẹn ẹgbẹ́ tó dá sílẹ̀ tí kò sí lára Nàìjíríà ní 1976. Màá gbé yín padà lọ sí history, but èyí tó kọ́kọ́ ṣe kókó tó ṣe pàtàkì òun ni pé ká sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Communique. Kí ló ń pè ní Communique? Àti pé tá a bá ń sọ pé Communique kí ló mean? Látara bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kọ́kọ́ kí bàbá wa ìyẹn alànà bàbá Yorùbá fún rẹ̀ tí a mọ̀ sí Professor Adébánjí Akíntóyè. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo kí bàbá pé ẹ ṣé gan ni, ẹ kú àdúró tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá nílé lóko, ẹ kú àìfiwásílẹ̀ nígbà tí àsìkò tó fẹ́ le díẹ̀ tí ẹ jáde. Wọ́n pè é ní olè, wọ́n pè é lóríṣiríṣi orúkọ. Bàbá òkùnkù á ní àwọn ọmọ wọn náà ni kò sórúkọ tó pe bàbá. Kódà wọ́n tún lọ gbé oríṣiríṣi nǹkan allegation oríṣiríṣi. Wọ́n kódà ń ṣiṣẹ́, èmi gan ṣiṣẹ́ fún Tinubu, èmi náà ṣiṣẹ́ fún Tinubu, gbogbo àná là ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún Tinubu. Ṣèbí ọmọ tápà ní Tinubu, kò ń ṣe ọmọ Ìgbò àbí ọmọ Yorùbá ni. Wọ́n ní kò ní qualification, at least òun tẹ̀ sí ní díẹ̀ ju Buhari lọ. Ní tó wá ṣe pàtàkì ni pé kò wá sí bá ṣe fẹ́ ṣe ìrìn àjò báyìí tí àwọn bàbá tí wọ́n ní capability 1976 ni bàbá ti ń kọ history Yorùbá. Ìwọ béèrè pé ṣé wọ́n ti bí ẹ nígbà yẹn àti pé kí ni bàbá tiẹ̀ ń ṣe nígbà tí bàbá yìí kọ history Yorùbá. Níbo ni bàbá tiẹ̀ wà? Kò ṣeé fi hàn. Ó ń jalè nínú Nàìjíríà, ó ń fẹ́wọ́. 1976 ni bàbá Akíntóyè ti ń kọ history Yorùbá. Ìwé náà ti wá jáde, ó wà lórí PDF. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́, ẹ má ní kí n fi ránṣẹ́ sí yín, ẹ lọ sórí website wa, ẹ download ẹ lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ hard copy bíi 60 according to sister wa tí wọ́n import láti Nàìjíríà, ó wà nílùú Amẹ́ríkà. Ẹ bá fẹ́ rà $100 ní, ẹ bá kàn sí mi, màá connect yín pẹ̀lú sister wa tó wà l'Amẹ́ríkà. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ wà rà ní Nàìjíríà, ẹ lọ sí Konga website. Ẹ ní láti pè mí fún yẹn. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ soft copy, ó wà lórí website mi, koikimedia.com. Tó bá jẹ́ pé ẹ̀ ń fara mọ́ Koiki dáadáa, ẹ ti mọ̀ pé nínú website wa ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan ló wà níbẹ̀. Ní ìgbà tí a ti parí òkú tán, oríṣiríṣi atrocity Fúlàní táṣẹ collate, bàbá Akíntóyè ló gbéṣẹ́ yẹn fún mi àtàwọn tíìmù wa. A máa upload ẹ̀ sórí website wa. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ atrocity tí Fúlàní ṣe nílẹ̀ Yorùbá up to date, tẹ́ bá ti lọ sórí koikimedia.com ní in another few days, click níbẹ̀. Lè fi máa wọn àwọn representative yín ní gbogbo ibi tó lúkálukú wà títí dé African countries láti lè sọ pé ìdí tá a ṣe ń ná fẹ́ dá dúró ká lè secure ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. So mo kí bàbá wa Professor Adébánjí Akíntóyè. Kò wá ń ṣe bàbá nìkan ló ń ṣiṣẹ́. Àlọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí Yorùbá self-determination movement. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé a kú oríire pé àwa ní mọ́tò tó ń drive wa, tó ní steering, tó ní gearbox. Òun ṣe èyí tí Túndé Bákàrè, ìyẹn Pastor Túndé Bákàrè, ó náà ń lálàá. Ó ní Ọlọ́run fi wọ̀n pé Buhari ó ń drive mọ́tò, àwọn wá pé tọ̀, Buhari wá park, ibẹ̀ yẹn ó wà steep. Òun á ní kóun tún mọ́tò yẹn park kí àwọn má bàa já wá sísàlẹ̀. Lòun á rí pé mọ́tò tí Buhari ń drive yìí kò ní steering, kò ní brake, kò ní kankan. Òun wá wò pé ṣé kò ń ṣe pé Buhari máa wà wá sínú inú omi. Tàbá wá wo ọdún mẹ́jọ tí Buhari ṣe, 28,000 ọmọ Yorùbá tá lè àkáǹtì fún nìyẹn ló kú. 28,000 ẹ̀mí tó jáde láyé látara Fúlàní terrorist ni o. Kò ń ṣe látara pé mo dé hospital àrógùn lò àbí nǹkan kan ṣẹlẹ̀. Kò ń ṣe yẹn o, pé àwọn terrorist tó pààyàn nílẹ̀ Yorùbá 28,000. Látara wọn náà ni Dr. Aborode, látara wọn náà ni bàbá wa Gbénga Owólabí àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Kódà bó ṣe ń wo bàbá wa Oríyọmí Hamzat, fídíò kan máa fi wọ̀n wá, ọmọ kan tó ṣẹ̀tú escape àwọn Fúlàní terrorist. Ìwọ máa yín mú pé kò sí nǹkan kan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Kódà àwọn kan ní kò dẹ́kun, no problem. Látara bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí YSDM, mo kí gbogbo ìlànà ọmọ Odùduwà pé ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun. A lè wá wá dúpẹ́ tá bá ti ń lọ tá ń bọ̀, a gbọ́dọ̀ máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ akọni ọmọ, the one and only. Ó wọ̀lú London, a dúpẹ́ fún. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ń béèrè kí ló wá ṣe, oríṣiríṣi láti gbọ́. Kódà àwọn kan ní ó yà ó kọjá. Ó náà òun gbọ́dọ̀ wá rí coordinator òun, agbẹnusọ òun tí ó jẹ́ Ọláyọmí Kóìkì. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò ń ṣe gbogbo nǹkan la máa sọ nísìn. Mo ní ìjọ tí bá ti kọ̀wé mi lọ́jọ́ iwájú, gbogbo details tí mo máa ń sọ yìí ẹ bá níbẹ̀. Kò ní yé yín torí pé kò ń ṣe gbogbo èèyàn ló lè mọ ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ tí ó affect àwa náà látara tó ṣe affect tí ó affect olóyè Ìgbòho. Mo ní nígbà tó máa mú olóyè sílẹ̀ ní Benin Republic, ọ̀sánjọ́ yẹn gangan lèmi náà travel, alẹ́ lolóyè travel. Mo ní sọ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, wàá dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run. So ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tí wọ́n ní ó ṣe jẹ́ mi ló wá yọjú sí, ó ń bọ̀ padà láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà. Olóyè ti sọ pé òun ń bọ̀, tó bá dé lásìkò yẹn wá láǹfààní àti rí gbogbo wa. So mo kí gbogbo wa bẹ́ẹ̀. À ń tẹ̀síwájú, mo lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí gbogbo àwọn ẹgbẹ́ tó operate Yorùbá Nation. Kò ń ṣe ẹgbẹ́ kan, gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ ti wà lábẹ́ YSDN. Mo ní accident kan péré ló ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú Ìgbòho burial fún ìyá wọn tá a ṣe. mo ti bá àwọn coordinator Ṣakí sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ pé mọ́tò ọ̀hún ó ti dé Ṣakí padà wọ́n ti fix ẹ̀ lẹ́yìn yẹn a gbọ́ pé yàn kankan wọ́n kidnap ẹ̀ a gbọ́ pé yàn kankan wọ́n jí gbé gbogbo yẹn kò ṣẹlẹ̀ throughout the period of the burial mo dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run Elédùmarè látara bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí ètò tẹ́ máa bá wa ká lọ ní alẹ́ yìí let's kickstart mo kí wa pẹ̀lú ti Jésù mo kí n pẹ̀lú àbàbọ̀yè orúkọ mi ni Ọláyọmí Kóìkì tí gbogbo wa mọ̀ sí KOIKIMEDIA ní gbogbo gbàlá máa ní Nigeria is not a country èmi kọ́ ni mo ní fídíò yìí ti bá play lénìí tí wọ́n bá question mi lé lórí látara páwa kọ́ la ní a máa lò ó láti kàn máa fi ṣe iye Kúnlé Bakers ó ti dé ẹ má bínú pé mo ń porúkọ ẹ̀ owó ni ẹ mọ̀ pé àwa Ìjẹ̀bú fẹ́ràn owó tó o bá dẹ̀ ti fún mi lówó mo gbọ́dọ̀ dárúkọ ẹ̀ ara tí agromi máa ń sọ nìyẹn pé ẹni tó fún ẹ lówó kọ́kọ́ kíná ó lè tún lè máa fún ẹ sí Kúnlé Bakers kò ní tán níbẹ̀ ẹ̀dúwọ̀ náà bá fẹ́ wá fún wa lówó ẹ lọ sórí backup channel wa kò ń ṣe lórí Kóìkì o torí wọ́n jẹ́ ká gbowó lórí yẹn mọ́ láti bí ọdún kan nísìn àròwó gbà ó yẹ kí n máa gbowó lórí YouTube ìyẹn ń ṣe big deal àwọn ọmọ mi gbogbo fídíò tó ń wò lọ́n sanwó fáwọn tó ń wò àwọn òrówó gbà adúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run tó bá yẹ pé gbogbo bẹ ṣe ń wò wá lẹ́yìn fún wa lówó ni àwa náà lè máa respond sẹ́yìn tí ẹ ń béèrè èyí tẹ́ ń béèrè a lè fún yín torí àní enough láti fi tọ́jú ara wa nípa fífún yàn kankan Kúnlé Bakers mo kí ẹ dáadáa mo kí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ tí n bá ti kì í gbogbo yàn ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ fídíò ilé nǹkan sí bí ṣe sọ if this video doesn't come back after tí bá parí program ilé ni a sọ di anthem wa ṣé Nàìjíríà ìlú ni ẹja gbọ́ lè tí bá máa fi padà dé àwa lọ ka communique yẹn tá bá ka communique yẹn tán àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣe analysis lé lórí ṣé àsìkò ti tó báyìí láti ṣe ìdáàbòbò fúnlẹ̀ Yorùbá àbí ká kọ̀ máa wò níran lójú nígbà tó bá pa gbogbo wa tán tó lè máa ní kò tí kàn ẹ́ wàá gbọ́ látara fídíò tó jáde ní bàbá wa Oríyọmí Hamzat tí a bá ka communique yẹn tán ni máa play fídíò yẹn bọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ gbọ́ ṣé Nigeria is still a country ìwọ tó ní Nigeria is a country ìwọ náà farabalẹ̀ kó gbọ́ lè.
There is no land called Nigeria. There is no language called Nigeria. There are no people called Nigerians. We are only deceiving ourselves.
We are not Nigerian.
Okay, where is Nigeria where is the land called Nigeria? What is the Nigerian language? We are nations that had been forced together to live in one pathetic country. So anybody who goes there today to say pray for Nigeria, that person is just deceiving himself because people who want to be that Nigeria had not sat down to agree if they want to be Nigeria. There is no land called Nigeria. There is no language called Nigeria. There are no people called Nigerians. We are only deceiving ourselves.
We are not Nigerian.
Okay, where is Nigeria where is the land called Nigeria? What is the Nigerian language? We are nations that had been forced together to live in one pathetic country. So anybody who goes there today to say pray for Nigeria, that person is just deceiving himself because the people who want to be that Nigeria had not sat down to agree if they want to be Nigeria.
Ìwọ náà túbọ̀ máa sọ pé I am a Nigerian. No problem. Nobody argues with you when you are using that phrase I am a Nigerian. But one thing is, ìwọ ló máa wá sọ bí tí location Nigeria wà fún wa. Even Baba Olowo sọ pé Nigeria is a mere geographical location and it will remain like that. It is a mere geographical location and until everybody wakes up. But ká tó wake up, a gbọ́dọ̀ kọ́kọ́ máa ṣe kí ni ìdáàbò fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. A rí pé ní on the 29th, just some 3 days ago, mo wá kí látọ̀dọ̀ ìyá wa Janet Fashaki láti ọ̀dọ̀ wa níbi tí a mọ̀ sí KOIKIMEDIA. Mo fẹ́ Elédùmarè kí n pé ẹ kú ọjọ́ ìbí. Mo kí Ọ̀túnba Òsénì, mo kí n pé ẹ kú ọjọ́ ìbí. Mo kí brother mi Ambassador Ṣówẹ̀tán nílùú Canada, mo kí n pé ẹ kú ọjọ́ ìbí. Mo lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí brother wa Aluka ẹjọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá láǹfààní àti ran Aluka lọ́wọ́ ẹ bá wa ṣe birthday gift fún. Lọ́la ni ti Mass B lágbára Elédùmarè kí ọba ọ̀dẹ́dà kó wà pẹ̀lú gbogbo àwa tí à ń ṣe ọjọ́ ìbí ìyẹn ní oṣù March. Now mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ẹ má ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ kíkí ẹ ká tó lọ sí the main business of the day. Màá make sure pé gbogbo yín náà ni mo máa recognize before the end of the program. Gbogbo yín ni mo ti rí láì fi ẹnìkankan sílẹ̀. Mo kí ọmọdé, mo kí àgbàlagbà. Èmi kọ́ ni the most important person nínú Yorùbá nation, but nínú mídíà mi màá make sure pé a wà lára àwọn tó máa fi mídíà mi liberate ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. It is for that purpose ni a ṣe sọ pé àwa lórí platform yìí kò sí tó kàn mí ju pé ọ̀rọ̀ bí Nàìjíríà ṣe máa pín. Any other thing I am not interested. Nigeria must just collapse. Bó ṣe fẹ́ collapse àìtí mọ̀, but something will lead to something. Ọ̀nà kan ló máa gbà kọjá nítorí pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó ti ń bẹ. In tí mo wọ̀ tí ó wà lọ́rùn mi yìí, tẹ́ ń rí sculpture ni. Gbogbo bó ṣe sculpture yìí, ẹni tó bá fẹ́ràn aṣọ báyìí, ẹ sọ bí tí ẹ wà, wàá tà fún yín, kò ń ṣọ̀fẹ́. Ní Amẹ́ríkà ni, ní Canada ni, ìyẹn àwọn tí wọ́n rán. Ìtọ́ fi ń mọ̀ wá ni pé identity wa ni wọ́n gbà kó tó di pé a máa ń béèrè fún identity yẹn. A lè máa béèrè fún identity nígbà tí security ti wà ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó ti ń pa wá, tó ti di big problem. Now, let's read it through the communique. The outcome of the Yoruba Security Summit amid insecurity in Yoruba land. Mo kí kábíyèsí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí the AROLE ODUDUWA Ooni of Ife Bàbá wa Adeyeye Enitan Ògúnwùsì CFR OJAJA II ní ILE-IFE ní Grand Resort ní ìjọ Thursday ìyẹn ọ̀sẹ̀ tó kọjá 29th of February 2024 ni wọ́n ṣe ìpàdé yẹn. Gbogbo wa la ti gbọ́ ní tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ìpàdé yẹn. I am not here to play any video, but we are here to read what is the communique. Then òyìnbó máa ń béèrè pé kí ni meaning communique tó àwọn òyìnbó ńláńlá yìí. Àwa lọ́dọ̀ tiwa máa ń fẹ́ break it down to our barest understanding. So tí yàn kan bá ní kí ni meaning communique, kí ló ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀, àti pé iṣẹ́ wo ló ń ṣe nígbà tí wọ́n bá ń sọ pé communique. It is an official announcement or statement, especially one made to the media. Èmi náà dẹ̀ wà lára àwọn media tó ń jàjàǹgbara, mo rà lára àwọn media tó wà recognized. Mo kì í ṣe bọ́lẹ̀ kájà media, mo yàtọ̀ sí blogger, àwọn ń ṣe blogger, a kì í blog. À ń ṣe gossip platform, gbogbo àwọn platform yẹn lèmi náà máa ń wò. A kì í ṣe crime scene platform. Platform tiwa is called KOIKIMEDIA, officially registered headquarters in UK, and it has been operating before ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation bẹ̀rẹ̀. Mo ti operate KOIKIMEDIA for more than 24 years tí mo ti wà nílùú yìí. Lóòótọ́ àwọn kankan là ń ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀, but media Koiki ti wà ní UK, ó dẹ̀ ti wà registered ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá nation. Mo kàn ń sọ fẹ́yìn tí ẹ máa ń rò pé ó dìgbà tá a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nìkan àní right láti sọ̀rọ̀ nǹkan míì. Ó ṣeé ṣe kó pàdé blọ́ọ̀gì wa tó máa sọ nǹkan míì tó relate mọ́ Yorùbá nation. Má wá question mi tí làákàyè bá mọ̀, ó jẹ́ kó mọ̀ pé tó ṣe ń pè ní media nìyẹn. So lénìí orí communique tí wọ́n fi ránṣẹ́ láti Ilé-Ifẹ̀ òun la fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí, tí gbogbo wa dẹ̀ máa ṣe analysis. A dẹ̀ láǹfààní bí èèyàn méjì mẹ́ta tí ẹ lè pè láti bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí, àti pé kí la lè mú jáde nínú ẹ̀, torí pé ọ̀rọ̀ security ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, ìdáàbòbò ilẹ̀ Yorùbá là ń sọ yìí. Kò sí bá ṣe náà fẹ́ gba country náà tí kò bá sí security, we are wasting our time. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá wá ní àwa tá à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation ní ká kó àwọn èèyàn jáde láti máa protect ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, you are wasting your time. Nírú owó yẹn, we don't have that kind of money. Security ò ń ṣe ẹ̀wà àti gàrí, it's so expensive ni, and it has to be done with a coordinated effort of everybody. Àwa dúpẹ́ fún bàbá wa OJAJA II tí wọ́n gbéra láti jẹ́ ká mọ̀ pé security summit tó ṣe ní ilẹ̀ Odùduwà ó wà very very important. Kò wá ń ṣe pé torí pé ó affect àwọn ọba, gbogbo èèyàn náà ló ń affect. So it goes like this. Being a communique issued after a day Yoruba Security Summit hosted by the AROLE ODUDUWA and Ooni of Ife, Ooni Adeyeye Enitan Ògúnwùsì CFR OJAJA II at the Ife Grand Resort ILE-IFE on Thursday, the 29th of February 2024. Preamble. Due to the recent upsurge in the killings, maiming, and kidnappings in the southwest Nigeria, the House of ODUDUWA today, ìyẹn Thursday, 29 February 2024, held a Yoruba security summit at OJAJA Arena, Ife Grand Resort, ILE-IFE. Two major themes were addressed. Mo ní tẹ́ bá ń wo program mi, ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ máa ní pen and paper lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ nítorí pé kò sí point ká wo program ká má lè mú kankan jáde. Bíyàn bá tẹ̀ ń bi yín pé kí ni wọ́n sọ lórí ètò Koiki, kẹ́ má lè sọ pé nǹkan báyìí ni wọ́n sọ torí ẹ ti gbàgbé. Lecture room níbí báyìí èèyàn máa ń ní pen and paper. Wọ́n ní two major themes ni wọ́n address. I want us to take note of that. Wọ́n ní nǹkan méjì ni wọ́n address. Let's now start going into it one at a time. Àkọ́kọ́ níbẹ̀ òun ni kidnapping and banditry delivered by Dr. Solomon E. Arese, ìyẹn the former Inspector General of Police àná. Ẹlẹ́nkejì into address òun ni à ń pè ní Yoruba Legacy of African Science. Gbogbo alátimọ̀ tán pè bẹ́ẹ̀ nǹkan ìṣẹ̀báyé wa torí ẹlòmíì á ní ẹ má lo nǹkan dúdú èèyàn fáwọn tán ní kọ́ má lò ọmọ babaláwo làwa àwa ń lò ó bó bá bí yín nínú kò sí nǹkan tá a máa ṣe sí àwa ń lò dáadáa torí pé ẹni tó lò ó tó jẹ́ pé Jésù lẹ lò pọ́blẹ́mù tí yín nìyẹn ẹni tó dẹ̀ lo ti Jésù náà tó lo tànábì but one thing is àwa la ní African science àwọn òyìnbó ń lò ó kódà ẹ̀rí sọ fún mi tí ó ní confirmation láwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní immigration ti UK wọ́n ní wọ́n fi ń protect the border wọn. I won't go into all the details but confirmation wà pé nílùú yo wọ́n ń lo ìtàn pè ní African science kò ń ṣe pé ajá ló ń gbọ̀nrún ẹnìkan tó bá dé airport bí o gbé nǹkan wọlé wọ́n ń lo ti African science láti fi ṣe ìdáàbòbò. So the second one is Yoruba Legacy of African Science, Overcoming the Twin Menace, delivered by Dr. Chief Ifayemi Elebuban Osundangbonu. Nǹkan méjì tí wọ́n discuss nìyẹn. Now let's go further. Wọ́n ní in tí a rí tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nílé Ifẹ̀ yẹn ó bá ìyẹn president tèmi Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, the president and the commander-in-the-chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, and under the chairmanship of the retired General Alani Akinrinade CFR. Kódà, Governor Osun State was represented by his deputy, Prince Kola Adewusi, while àwọn governor wa tó kù were all also have their representatives sent. Ìyẹn l'Èkìtì, Ondo, Ọ̀yọ́, Lagos, Ogun State. So tí bá kàn ní kí n kàn sáré ṣe àlàyé kékeré ká tó máa wọnú ẹ̀ lọ. Wọ́n ní Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ó fọwọ́ sí ìgbésẹ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nílé Ifẹ̀, ìyẹn nílùú Ifẹ̀. The summit itself, which was convened by the AROLE ODUDUWA and Ooni of Ife, Ooni Adeyeye Enitan CFR, OJAJA II, was a gathering of traditional rulers across Yoruba land. Àfẹ́ni tó bá jẹ́ pé kò sí nílé gbogbo àwọn ọba pátápátá láì yọ ẹnìkankan sílẹ̀ ni wọ́n send the message sí pé wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ pàdé níbi tí wọ́n ti ṣe pàdé yẹn. The summit was attended by the Olowu of Owu, Alayeluwa Ọba Ajibade Gbadegesin Ogunnoye III, Oshimewa of Ondo State, Alayewuluwa Ọba Victor Kiladejo the Deji of Akure, Ọwa Ajero of Ijero Ekiti, Akirigbo of Remoland, Olowu of Owu ìyẹn nílùú Abẹ́òkúta, Alayemore of Ido Ọ̀ṣun, Aragbiji of Iregbiji, Akiri of Ikiri, Ile, and a host of other Yoruba traditional rulers. Tí pronunciation mi bá kù díẹ̀, ẹ tẹ̀ máa dúpẹ́ pé àti ìgbàgbélé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní kò tẹ̀ sọ Yorùbá gan mọ́ nínú Nàìjíríà ní ọ̀dọ̀ yín bẹ́ẹ̀. The summit also featured presentation by the Alara of Ara-Ekiti, also Iba Gani Adams Logunofeo, the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land, also Mr. Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho and Mr. Akin Oshutokun, and a host of others. Now, observation. Number 1, the Security Summit noted that there have been organized systematic attacks on traditional rulers. Mo fẹ́ ká máa take note. Àwọn wo ló ń organize systematic attack? Ta ló ń fún wọn ní intelligence pé àwọn ọba wa ló ń lọ nínú mọ́tò yìí? Àbí wọ́n kàn identify wọn pé ọba ni tó fi di pé ọba 5 ló pa nínú oṣù tó kọjá? Ní January rather. Mo fẹ́ ká máa take note of some of these, highlighted, information. And tó bá ìtì ká, a jẹ́ pé tẹ̀lé wa dáadáa lórí platforms wa torí a ti post eléyìí láti àná ni mo fi pa àwọn ọmọ mi ti drafted ni a ti fi síta. Ẹni tó bá ń tẹ̀lé Koiki Media dáadáa kò sí bí ẹ̀ ṣe ti lè bá eléyìí pàdé, but ó wà important pé ká document ẹ̀ báyìí torí ọjọ́ ọ̀la ni kò ń ṣe torí èní. The Security Summit noted that there have been organized systematic attacks on the traditional rulers and the eminent sons and daughters of Yoruba land by suspected elders. A máa ṣe analysis lé lérí lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan ọ̀bọ̀yẹ́ ká kàdé lẹ́tàn. Number 2, the summit further noted that the herdsmen attacks have been largely responsible for food insecurity and food scarcity in the Southwest because of the organized attacks on farmers who, for fear of attacks, stayed away from their farmland. Resolution. Kí làwọn kan tí wọ́n bá padà láti lè jẹ́ pé a lè máa ṣe láti lè fi dá ọwọ́ ibu tí ó ti wọlé Yorùbá ìdúró? Number 1, that the Yoruba people should take full control of their forest, homeland, and the farmland. That the Amotekun Corps should be strengthened with terms of giving recognition and to be transformed to the status of state police. Motivation, finances, training and retraining of personnel, that those who are familiar with the nooks and crimes of our forest should be recruited into the Amotekun. Provisions of trading grounds for its personnel, provision of adequate budgetary allocations to the Amotekun Corps. The summit agreed that a Department of Forest Amotekun Corps be created, that the Yoruba, especially the traditional rulers, should make recourse to their natural resources, including natural powers, to combat banditry and kidnapping, that Yoruba Obas should not jettison traditional values, that government at all levels should recognize the roles of traditional rulers and factor them into the national security architect, that the entire Obas in Yoruba land should work in unison to ward off the evils of banditry and kidnapping, as each of the states will only succeed in chasing the marauders to another state. Traditional rulers are advised to uphold and value the custom and tradition of the land. That each time an attack took place, the offenders were quickly left off the hook by the power that be, and that the judicial process should be strengthened to mete out appropriate punishment to culprit or bringing them to justice. Àwọn wo ni wọ́n ń pè tí wọ́n fi ní kó máa fi àwọn Fúlàní terrorists tó bá ti mú sílẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ náà la máa sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. That the governors of the Southwest Nigeria should organize regional security summit at the earliest practicable time, including all stakeholders, to chart the way forward and give teeth to all the concerns raised at this current summit. Number 9. The Security Summit called for strong support for the administration of President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the larger interest of the Yoruba race. Number 10. The Security Summit called on Yoruba traditional rulers to return to the pristine Yoruba traditional, spiritual and cultural values. Ara reason that ní nígbà tí Yorùbá bá dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè, eléyìí máa jẹ́ automatic. Wọn níṣẹ́ máa sọ fún àwọn kábíyèsí àbí àwọn ìjòyè àbí government of the day láti make use of it. Gbogbo ìlú lágbàáyé ló ń lo tradition àti spiritual àti cultural values wọn láti fi defend the territorial ground tiwọn. At all times, the traditional rulers should recognize that in spite of whatever nature of religion they practice, they must recognize the stool they preside over is traditional. Tó bá jẹ́ pé ẹ̀sìn Mùsùlùmí ló ń ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ kó tó di ọba, wàá mọ̀ pé ìṣe ọba ní pé tó bá ní kẹ́ bọ̀gún, má máa sọ pé mọ́ṣáláṣí ní kẹ́ má bọ̀gún, tó bá ní kẹ́ lọ ṣe òòṣà, má sọ pé torí Jésù ò ní ṣe òòṣà. Gbogbo kìíní yẹn ó ń affect ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Number 11, the summit call on Yoruba traditional rulers to take full possession of their forest, homeland, and farmland. Number 12, the summit call on local government, federal government to employ use of drones and other appropriate technology for the effective surveillance of Yoruba forests and roads. Ìlú tó ní 24 hours iná, kódà níjọ́ tó ń ṣe summit yìí, nígbà tó ń ṣe 1 minute silence fáwọn ọba tó jáde láyé, fẹ̀yìn tẹ wo summit yẹn rí pé iná kú níbẹ̀, tó yẹ kó máa rí bẹ́ẹ̀ níbi tí àrólé wà. Ṣé wọ́n tó bẹ̀ nílùú yìí kí King Charles wà lórí ìjókòó kó máa múná lọ lérí? Ara ìdí tí ẹ̀tọ́ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó ti kúrò lọ́wọ́ wa nìyẹn. Kò sí bàbá ńlá ẹni tó máa paná mọ́ King Charles lórí nígbà tó bá ń ṣe irú àwọn summit báyìí nílùú òyìnbó. The summit agreed that the Yoruba Security Summit should be held quarterly, basis so as to capture, intervene, and supervising variables in our polite. And the last one, number 14, we take due convenience of the difficult and challenges Nigeria is going through. We dare say that our son, Bola Tinubu, whom it has pleased God to make the president of Nigeria, is doing his level best to grapple with and overcome the challenges. We appeal to our colleagues from all the nooks and crannies of Nigeria to cooperate and support him to make a success of his government. Kò sẹ́ni tó ń wá ṣubú Bọ́lá Tinubu, not on this platform. As far as I am concerned, I cannot speak to other platforms. Èmi ò wá ṣubú President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but concern mi ni pé tí aṣíwájú bá ṣe tán tí ó gbèpò sílẹ̀, ṣé gbogbo wàhálà tó bá ṣe nípa security ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, ṣé tó bá make sure pé gbogbo tí wọ́n kà jáde nínú communique yìí àríṣedélẹ̀ tí adẹ̀ ń bẹ Lédùmarè pé kó fún wọn ṣe, má pe àwa pé ká lọ ṣe torí pé o kówó lé mi lọ́wọ́ láti lọ fi defend ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Owó wà lọ́wọ́ àwọn governor, àwọn ló ń gba security vote, àwọn ni wọ́n ṣe budget, àwọn ni kọ́ wá bọ́ ṣe máa dáàbò bò wá. Iṣẹ́ tèmi ni pé bá ṣe máa pín Nàìjíríà ní ibi tí ó wà lénìí tí kò ṣiṣẹ́ fún ẹnìkankan. Now, let us start dissecting it one at a time. Mo ti kà síta gẹ́gẹ́ bí understanding mi. Ẹ jẹ́ ká mi wá ṣe ìwọ̀nba làákàyè tẹ́lẹ̀dùmarè fún mi kó tó di pé a máa ṣí ojú òpó. Mo wá ń bẹ̀ wá, bó bá pè wọlé ò ní bú Ìbà Gani Adams, ò ní bú ọba kankan. Tó bá ti ń gbẹ́nu síbẹ̀, màá disconnect ẹ torí pé platform eléyìí kò ń ṣe fún èébú. Torí pé tó bá fẹ́ bú wọn, ìwọ náà lè ṣe fídíò ààrẹ kó ṣe picture, kó gbé kó wá sọ date, kó gbé síta. Bọ̀ lórí platform yìí, nígbà kẹ́ bú ọba, àdẹ̀ nígbà kẹ́ bú any other person. Kò jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Tó o bá tẹ́yín lọ́rùn, social media is a big place. Kódà o lè máa lọ wo àwọn tó ń bára wọn sùn, ó wà lórí social media. O lè máa wo àwọn tó ń ṣe fracas, bọ̀ lórí platform yìí, it is not a joking platform. Now, gbogbo ara tí ń pariwo tẹ́lẹ̀ pé bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá kò tẹ́ wa lọ́rùn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wo fídíò tí mo fẹ́ fi ràn wá yìí látara ẹni tí bàbá wa Oríyọmí Hamzat iṣẹ́ takuntakun tó ń ṣe ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá fún wa. Látara bẹ́ẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ fídíò yìí, ẹ jẹ́ àjọ gbọ́. Máa play arábìnrin tẹ́ fẹ́ gbọ́ wọ̀nyí 6 minutes ni ó máa fi play. I will not interrupt. Ó wà lára àwọn tó ṣe fi sílẹ̀ after tí wọ́n kidnap ẹ̀. Ìwọ tó ní kidnapping ti tán ní Nàìjíríà, I am not here to argue with your stupidity. I am not here to defend your nonsense because púpọ̀ nínú yín ní understanding in tó ń lọ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. But arábìnrin yìí, òun ló mọ ntárẹ̀ ẹ̀ rí, òun ló lè fẹnu ara ẹ̀ sọ, wọ́n kidnap èmi rí. Kódà tó bá máa kidnap mi nílùú yìí, á jẹ́ pé British mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀. but ìwọ tó wà nílé ǹjẹ́ tó bá níwọ̀n ní kidnap ẹ tó bá lọ kidnap ẹni tó mọ̀ àbẹ́ni tó mọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá lárábìnrin tó kidnap yìí ẹni tó bá ti kidnap that means pé ó ti affect àwa náà tá bá wá gbọ́ fídíò yìí tán àwa padà sórí communique yẹn láti fi wò pé ṣé kidnapping yìí ti tán lẹ̀ ni àbí kí ló dé tó ń kódà lára ohun tó sọ ni pé wọ́n fún wọn ní 2,000 naira pé kó má bínú owó gbà má bínú fi wọ mọ́tò padà kódà lára àwọn tó sọ̀rọ̀ pé ìkan náà àwọn táwọn jọ wà níbẹ̀ àwọn bíi 7 ló bá sùn kábíyèsí Elédùmarè gbogbo eléyìí dẹ̀ lọ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ní nothing is happening mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí o so I'm gonna mute my mic so that we can hear properly what she's going to say. Ẹ tó bá wá fẹ́ fún wa lówó àwọn òjókòó síbi kan náà fẹ́ owó torí a lè máa ṣiṣẹ́ mídíà ká máa sọ pé à nídìí owó àwọn tó nídìí owó àtẹni tó nídìí owó àwa nídìí owó lórí platform wa láti fi operate. Without money we cannot do much. With money we can do a lot and there's a lot that needs to be done. Platform tiwa is self-determination. Owó ta need owó ta máa fi ṣe iṣẹ́ mídíà látara pé a fẹ́ máa jẹ́ kí ìtẹ̀síwájú máa lọ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation. Èmi ò gbéṣẹ́ mi dání ìjọ tá bá ti gbéṣẹ́ mi dání a jẹ́ pé a ti deviate away from the Yorùbá nation campaign but for now it is Yorùbá nation. Tó bá wá mọ details yẹn wọ́n máa bá ń fi sínú comment section ẹ bá wa gbọ́n wọ́n sáwo ẹ fún wa ní náírà ká lè rówó lò ẹ fún wa ní pounds bá ṣe ní di pounds náà là ní di náírà ẹ tó bá dẹ̀ fẹ́ fún wa ní crypto èmi ò mọ̀ nípa ti Nàìjíríà tó block tèmi ní bíbá mo sì mi tẹ̀ ń béèrè pé Binance èmi ní Binance tèmi tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ẹ tó bá yẹ pé true crypto lẹ́fẹ̀ẹ́ fi send owó tó bá dẹ̀ yẹ pé true Ruba náà ni gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ́ọ̀la ní lọ́wọ́ PayPal musakalam1@yahoo.com First Bank Olayomi Koiki 30 96 80 88 48 gbogbo GoFundMe ta set up kò tí ì rí £1,000 èmi ò ní gbàdúrà ikú fúnra mi kò sọgbọ́n ẹ̀ láyé kàkà kí n kú àwọn tó bá ń gbàdúrà kú fún wa ló máa kú mo mọ̀ pé in táwọn èèyàn máa ń fẹ́ dáwó tó pọ̀ ni pé ẹni tẹ́mi ẹ̀ bá ti lọ ó máa ń yá ayé lára láti lọ fi £1,000 síbẹ̀ pé ìgbà má bínú ọmọ àlè àtúkútù ẹ̀ lọ́rùn èmi ò ní kú o so ẹ̀yin tẹ́ fún wa nìkan nísìn ẹ̀bí ẹ̀ ń dúró pé irú ẹ̀ ń tọ́ra yín àwa máa dàgbà máa dògbò àwọn ìyá tó wà lọ́wọ́ máa dàgbà máa dògbò sí wa lọ́wọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ pé ó dìgbà téèyàn bá kú lẹ̀ ń wá ẹni tẹ́ máa sanwó kú fún ẹ fún wa ní owó láti fi ṣiṣẹ́ ta gbé dání mídíà nídìí owó láti fi ṣiṣẹ́ gbogbo àwọn Al-Jazeera BBC tẹ́ ń gbọ́ àwa là ń fọ́ǹdì BBC tó fi operate ní Nàìjíríà àti ní bíbá BBC ní ẹ̀ka káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé gbogbo CNN tẹ́ ń rí wọ́n ní owó tó ń gbà from different stakeholders àwọn Fox àwọn gbogbo àwọn NBC tàbá ní ẹ fún wa lówó à ń sọ nítorí pé a mọ̀ pé kò ń ṣe pé èèyàn kan là ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ṣì ń jókòó lébà ẹ ń dúró fún ìgbà tí gbogbo ẹ bá dàrú ẹ má ti dúró kó dàrú ó yẹ ká máa ṣe so much especially a platform like ours and I'm speaking alone for my platform because my platform is an independent platform ẹ fún wa ní owó afẹ́fẹ́ operate ẹ fún wa ní owó a ní afẹ́rẹ́ ọ̀kadà ààrẹ nìkan sọ pé Kóìkì ìbílẹ̀ donate owó ọ̀kadà kan kò jẹ́ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ but ìyẹn ò ní jẹ́ kó wá sú èmi o so tẹ́ bá rò pé bóyá ìyẹn máa jẹ́ kó sú wa nǹkan ti gbé dání láti bí ọdún 4 oríṣiríṣi orúkọ lẹ ti pè wá ẹ ti castigate wa gbogbo yẹn àmọ́ nìyẹn a lè gbérúṣẹ́ báyìí dání kí a má rí àwọn tó máa sọ̀rọ̀ wa bẹ́tẹ̀ ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ wa gan ló máa ń pè mí but ẹni tó bá lè ní Kóìkì kódà nígbà tá náà fẹ́ ṣe Ìgbòho ààrẹ nìkan sọ pé Kóìkì gba mọ́tò ìlọlù kó fi kó dá padà but gbogbo yẹn náà àfihàn encourage ara wa náà ni ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wá ń ṣe àdúpẹ́ fún yín ẹni tó ì tí ì ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ bóyá lásìkò yìí ẹ má tara pé ẹ rí olóyè nísìn lórí ẹlòmíì nísìn gbà tẹ́tí rí olóyè oríṣiríṣi kọ́ ọ̀pọ̀ ti gbà in the last 24 hours láti different part of the world olóyè ń ṣe tiẹ̀ látara iṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe mídíà níṣẹ́ tó máa ṣe we are all different roles that play without the media there cannot be any Yorùbá nation Yèyé Dára ń ṣe program báyìí mo wà aware of it Ọmọlúkà ti jáde Bàbá Èkìtì máa jáde Masbi ti jáde Lady K ti jáde ọmọ Abiodun Grace ìyá ọmọ Ọbásanjọ́ iṣẹ́ tá à ń ṣe ìkò ń ṣiṣẹ́ kékeré is a lot of work and without money we cannot do anything so nígbà tá a set up GoFundMe ààrẹ ẹnìkankan gbọ́wọ́ sáwo yàtọ̀ sáwọn tó ti bá wa gbọ́wọ́ síbẹ̀ kò tí late when we have money we can do kò dẹ̀ sẹ́ni tó máa sọ pé òun ò rí fìrí iṣẹ́ tá a ṣe at least nínú òkúta ṣe tó tán yìí oríṣiríṣi videos tó ṣì wà and process it. I need the work láti fi ṣe so much. So mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wọn sáwò fún wa o. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sínú fídíò yìí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mò ń bọ̀.
Mo dẹ̀ ti bínú mo wá ń gbọ́ pé kí ni mo fẹ́ sọ báwo tí mo tún kọlà pé báwo náà ṣe fẹ́ mọ̀ pé mi kì í ṣe Yorùbá tó ṣe sọ pé ọmọ Yorùbá ni ọ́ mo fẹ́ gbọ́ pé ọmọ Yorùbá ni ọ́ mo dẹ̀ ti bínú mo wá ń gbọ́ pé kí ni mo fẹ́ sọ báwo tí mo tún kọlà pé báwo náà ṣe fẹ́ mọ̀ pé mi kì í ṣe Yorùbá mo sì ti rìn mo ti mọ èdè wọ́n á ní pé ìgalà mọ́ kọlà mo ṣe lọ́dọ̀ mi wọ́n ní ọmọ ìlú wo ni ọmọ ní ìgalà ni wọ́n ní ìlú wo mo ní pé mi ì lọlé pé ìyá àti bàbá mi ti kú wọ́n ní fóònù ẹ̀kọ́ mo ní mi ì lo fóònù torí mi ò rí fóònù débẹ̀ wọ́n ní fóònù fóònù ok ọ̀rọ̀ ti ọ̀tọ̀ ni wọ́n máa ń dé mi ó dé mi láti àárọ̀.
language wo náà sọ.
broken náà máa ń sọ sí wa bọ̀ ọ̀pọ̀ nínú wọn ìgalà ni ọ̀pọ̀ nínú wọn náà ó jẹ́ ìgalà àwọn mẹ́jọ ni bí wọ́n á mú mi sọ́dọ̀ wọ́n ní pé èmi mo kéré jù kí wọ́n bá sá lọ wọ́n á máa ń dé mi òru ní tó máa ń tú mi òru tá a bá ń rìn lọ ní tó máa ń tú mi tí bá tó sáyà ó dó ibì kan ọ̀gá wọn máa sọ pé kán máa nà mí dáadáa torí mi ò réèyàn kù ọmọ kan tó pe dáàdì rẹ̀ ń bẹ pásítọ̀ ní dáàdì ẹ̀ ní Jesus dáàdì ẹ̀ wọ́n á bí ọmọ yẹn pé kó kọ́ọ̀tì kọ́ yẹn pé ta ló ń jẹ́ Jesus who is Jesus ọmọ ní I did not know who is Jesus is he woman bí ọmọ yẹn ní I did not know wọ́n ná ọmọ yẹn sì ní ó sọ fún wọn pé òun fẹ́ lọ suppression ló jẹ́ kóun wá nu mọ́tò ibi tí ọmọ yẹn fẹ́ lọ suppression gẹ́gẹ́ ibẹ̀ náà ti máa ń lù ọmọ kan náà wà nu atẹ́kọ̀ọ́ síkulẹ̀ wound tẹ́lẹ̀ nínú mọ́tò yẹn ṣe last dance ọmọ yẹn ó pe mọ́mí ẹ̀ immediately pé òun wà lọ́wọ́ àwọn kidnapper bá ìyá yẹn collapse òkú àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n yẹn wá pé padà ìyá yẹn ti kú wọ́n ná ọmọ yẹn pé ó máa lọ bá ìyá rẹ̀ padà lọ́rùn wọ́n sọ fún mi pé ìwọ ọmọ kékeré yìí ó gbà níjọ́ kẹta kárí bẹ́ẹ̀ pé látijọ́ yìí táwọn ti ń nà ó fẹ́ kú àbí ọwọ́ mi gangan máa fi kọ́ omi táwọn omi tí òkú ti kú síbẹ̀ táwọn wo òkú lórí rẹ̀ báyìí náà máa bù fún wa táwọn máa mú wọ́n máa so gàrí mókè fún wa nínú lẹ́dà wọ́n máa fẹnu gbé èmi dẹ̀ ní kí mu gàrí mo sọ fún wọn pé èmi kí mu gàrí wọ́n lù mí pé ó wà nílé bàbá rẹ̀ ló fi ń ra fáwọn wọ́n lù mí mo wọ́ débẹ̀ tó náà so mí ni mo wọ́ débẹ̀ mo tún mu gàrí torí mi ì pẹ́ nìkankan mi ò léyìn kó mo tí àwọn sọ pé mi ì ní kankan kò sí bí mo ṣe fẹ́ péyàn tí mo ní mọ̀ pọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá ni mí torí kò sẹ́ni tí ó sọ tí ó mọ̀ pé tí màá sọ pé ó là ló sọ̀rọ̀ tí ò ní sọ pé bó o ní o mo ní mi ní pẹ́ nìkankan bí o bí tí ṣùgbọ́n mo mọ̀ pé Ọlọ́run mi yóò gbá mi kó bí mo ṣe wá pé pásítọ̀ yẹn wọ́n sọ fún pásítọ̀ yẹn pé 2 million lówó ọmọ rẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n ó san owó ọmọ kan náà tó wà níbí pásítọ̀ yẹn ò jiyàn rárá ó sọ pé kò sí wàhálà bọ̀ ẹ má bá fọmọ mi lóúnjẹ tó dáa wọn ẹ má bá fọmọ rẹ lóúnjẹ olówó rẹ ti di 3 million pẹ̀lú tọmọ yẹn ó jẹ́ 5 million pásítọ̀ yẹn máa kó wá ẹ má wọrí owó tó kéré jù bẹ́ẹ̀ ni is 1 million owó tó lè san tó kéré jù ọmọ yẹn tó ṣe inú rúdì tó ọmọ tàjú wọn bẹ 3 million ló san pẹ̀lú bí yẹ ẹsẹ kú tó sọ fún wọn pé yóò ń kú 3 million bọ̀ mo bá àánú pàdé bẹ́ẹ̀ torí pé ọmọ ẹnìkan náà wà láàrin wọn tó jẹ́ ìgalà torí pé mo wá sọ fún pé gàlà ni mí yóò nìkan máa fọwọ́ kàn mí jù ìgbà mi ò sì ní supervisor mi torí wọn lè kó máa nà mí kò ní ná mi.
wọn tó ní supervisor.
àní supervisor kan
wọn fẹ́ yàgò kan
sọ wa ọ̀gá wọn gangan alẹ́ ló máa ń wà ọ̀gá wọn ìlú wa máa ń lù wá lálẹ́ yóò lù wá.
mo béèrè pé gbogbo àpá tó wà lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ nígbà tó dé ojú àpá ibi tó ti nà ẹ́ nìyẹn.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni nígbà tí olótúwádò òrùjọ kan àti ń rìn lọ lóru akan inú bó tí kìnìún wà tí àwọn kìnìún ń dún bẹ táwọn kìnìún tí wọn á dún bẹ àwọn náà ti wá rí pé àwọn kìnìún tún wá ń lọ wá pé ká kúrò lọ́nà bẹ ká sá kúrò lọ́nà bẹ ó tún kó wa lọ ọ̀nà gbogbo níbi tá tún wá rìn la já sí títì bàtà já sí títì táwọn tírélà kan ń wó wà lọ wọn ní ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé torí àwọn tírélà kan má bàa fìbọn pa wọn tún àwọn náà gangan wọn sá fún àwọn ọdẹ mo gbọ́dọ̀ rá àwọn ọdẹ táwọn náà bá rá àwọn ọdẹ wọn sá fún àwọn ọdẹ wọn lè ká wa gangan bẹ̀rẹ̀ àwọn nìkan náà wà dúró wọn fi ìbọn wọ wọn lẹ ọjọ́ táwọn èèyàn fẹ́ wá kówó fún wọn ìbọn gidi sì ṣe ìbọn lókà ló wà lọ́wọ́ wọn ìbọn méjì pẹ̀lú pistol náà ń lò ìjọ tí wọ́n fẹ́ wá gbówó fún wọn ìbọn wọn tún wá pọ̀ sí ju tẹ́lẹ̀ lọ wọ́n tún wá lọ wá bọ̀ fún wọn tó ń sọ pé tọ́wọ́ ẹ pé àwọn ẹbí wa tó ń kówó bọ̀ ó yẹ káwọn ṣe fún wọn pé owó yẹn káwọn gbà lọ́wọ́ káwọn tún wá dá wà pọ̀ mọ́ra wa.
káwọn tún kó àwọn náà.
káwọn náà tún kó àwọn náà mọ́ wa pé káwọn jọ wà níbí káwọn gbowó yẹn ìkànnì wọn wá sọ pé rárá káwọn ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ pé àwọn ní operation mi táwọn fẹ́ ṣe pé kán jẹ kán kó wá bọ̀ kó má jẹ gbogbo wọn yóò kó wá wọn á fi gbogbo wọn pé ìjọ òlẹ̀ fẹ́ kó wá oníjọba yìí wọn ní kán lọ pàdé bíi báyìí ó sì já àwọn méjì péré ní òkú yẹn wọ́n sì tún wá wọ́n jọ ka owó yẹn wọ́n ní tówó yẹn ò bá pé àwọn olùkó wálẹ̀ wọ́n tún jọ ka owó yẹn bọ́ ẹ̀ lérò ojú wọn wọ́n jọ jókòó ka owó wọ́n sì kó fún wọn tán wọ́n á ní sáwọn èèyàn yín ni wọ́n sì ní wọn kó wọn ní pé níbi tí wọ́n ti kó wa sì tún àárín ìṣẹ̀ mọ́tò tó wá gbé wa ó sì tún rìnrìn 1 hour kàtú tó já sí ibi tí ojú gbàgbá wa wọ́n sọ fún wa pé tí kidnapper mi bá kó wa kò sọ wá àwọn bẹ́ẹ̀ o ìgbà tí àwa ń bọ̀ padà tí mọ́tò gbé mi ní ìjọ Sunday torí mò ń rùn àwọn èèyàn wá fún mi láṣọ àwọn tí mo ṣe dé ìgboro àwọn èèyàn àwọn Yorùbá wọ́n sọ̀sẹ̀ tí wọ́n mi lè wọ́n á súnmọ́ bí mo ṣe ń súnmọ́ wọn náà sún sẹ́yìn wọ́n ní àyè nǹkan kò sí mi pé wọ́n kidnap mi wọ́n ní Yorùbá ni wọ́n á mú mi jókòó wọ́n fún mi ní oúnjẹ mo ní mi lè jẹ́ pé ọkàn mi ọ̀dọ́ mẹ́mi ló wà mò ń lọlé wọ́n láwọn òbí mi wọ́n bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n á sọ fún wọn wọ́n á ṣàlàyé nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ fún wọn wọ́n sá fún mi láṣọ àwọn tó dáwó fún mi jẹ́ ń bẹ̀ wọ́n fún mi lówó torí àwọn kidnapper yẹn náà wọ́n fún wọn náà fún 2,000 wọ́n ní pé ká má bínú pé Nàìjíríà ni èdè kan sì máa sọ fún wa wọ́n ní pé bàbá wa ló sọ pé káwọn gbébọn at any time tó bá ti wu àwọn wọ́n ní òru làwọn fi máa gbébọn tẹ́lẹ̀ bọ̀ àtìgbà tí bàbá ti wo orí yẹn bàbá ní gbébọn at any time tó bá ti wù yìí torí ẹ̀ làwọn fi ṣe pé ká má bínú ká gba 2,000.
nígbà tí wọ́n gba owó tó bá tún ilẹ̀
owó tí o bá san
owó
tó bá san náà fi fún ọ lówó.
ok wọ́n á fi yín 2,000.
wọ́n á fún wọn 2,000.
ẹni tí wọ́n mọ̀ rí lọ sanwó tiẹ̀.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni sọ.
kì í ṣe pé ẹ kàn tú ọ lẹ̀.
ara
pásítọ̀ yẹn lọ sanwó tiẹ̀.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni sọ.
kábíyèsí Olódùmarè ta ló wá gbé ọ dé Ìbàdàn.
tí mo ṣe wá jáde pásítọ̀ yẹn wá lọ́ọ̀jì fún àwa tí ààrẹ èèyàn pé torí ọmọ kan náà wà àbẹ̀tẹ́ pé kò rí èèyàn pé ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí kò rí èèyàn sanwó tiẹ̀ ọgbọ̀n àwọn méje ló bá a sùn nígbà tí ò rí èèyàn tí ó sanwó rẹ̀.
nínú àwọn ará bí yẹn.
àwọn méje ló bá a sùn lẹ́yìn ọ̀gá wọn nìkan ní ó bá a sùn ìgbà tí wọ́n á kó wa dé òtẹ́ yẹn wọ́n á lọ́ọ̀jì òtẹ́ fún wa pásítọ̀ yẹn wá ní pé wá da àárọ̀ tílẹ̀ bá ti mọ́ which is ọjọ́ Sunday pé kí n mọ ká mọ bá ṣe rí kò sí bàtà lẹ́sẹ̀ wa kò sí ìtọ́kọ lẹ́sẹ̀ wa bàtà wa ń lọ mo fi wá rí àwọn tó jẹ́ Yorùbá mo wá súnmọ́ wọn wọ́n á wọ fún mi wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ṣàánú mi gbé mi dé Ìbàdàn.
òun ni gbogbo wa ti gbọ́ tí sísítà wa yẹn sọ ṣe mọ̀ pé sísítà wa tó sọ̀rọ̀ yìí ẹ jẹ́ kí n padà sẹ́yìn ní 2018 nígbà tí àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìrìnàjò yìí fídíò kan kàn wá lọ́wọ́ tí ìyá yẹn tó ní it seems that pé gbogbo akọ̀ sùn kalẹ̀ àmọ́ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ a ó gbé mo sì ní fídíò yẹn mo ti rí níbẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ kí wọ́n bó máa play or not. ẹ jẹ́ àjọ gbọ́ fídíò ló ń bọ̀.
And decided to park the car with the hope of changing the tires. It was like a film. In a GC, motley crowd of armed men in military uniform came out of the bush. They fired at the boot of the car. Ahead of us.
This particular one tẹ́ ń gbọ́ yìí eléyìí tá a fẹ́ tá à ń gbọ́ nísinsìnyí ẹ má mix ẹ̀ up o ìyá tẹ́ ń wo àfọ́nrán wọn nísinsìnyí èmi mo pọ́sẹ̀ 2018 ni o ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́n tó ṣẹlẹ̀ eléyìí tá a gbọ́ tán nísìn 2024 ni so 19 20 21 22 23 24 6 years after tí ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ìyá yìí ṣẹlẹ̀ ìyẹn á rò pé bóyá ó jẹ́ kí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó ti ní security ó ti ní ìdáàbò tó jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́n tí ìyá yìí sọ kí mute mic mi mọ́lẹ̀ mo padà bọ̀ 9 minutes ni a máa gbọ́ délẹ̀ ẹni bá fẹ́ sunkún ẹ tètè mú handkerchief ẹ fi nu ojú yín torí pé bí wọn bá gbọ́ fídíò ìyá yìí ara bù mọ́yàn láṣọ pé mẹ́wàá ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá mò ń bọ̀ ẹja àjọgbọ́.
5 of them came out of the bush. Another 2 came from the rear. My daughter screamed, "Mommy, Daddy, what's going on?" There was no time to say a word. They marched us through into the bush, firing into the sky. They hit me on my chest, hit my daughter on her head. Blood oozed. At this time, it was better to kill me. I shouted at one of the armed men. His response was hell. He went straight for my private part, tore my dress with his gun. The others ripped my dresses. I was left with my undies. My husband and my daughter started crying. 2 of them dug their teeth into my breasts. While attending a secondary school in Adamawa, I had lived with some Fulani, so I understood a few Fulani words. I started pleading, at least for my daughter. To my shock, at gunpoint, they removed the dress of my little girl. One of them carried her on his head as my baby struggled, shouting, "Daddy, Mommy, what's going on? Help me!" I could not help myself. We marched for 9 hours. I was half naked. My daughter was totally naked. Her tears was like a stream of blood on her cheeks. Our phones had been seized. We ended up in an ungoverned region in the thick of the forest. We met a well-organized group. There were some kidnapped victims. I saw 2 women, 2 ladies and 3 men. There were some people with their legs chained to trees. They were as if half dead. We were separated. I was separated from my husband. My daughter was taken away. I only heard her screaming intermittently. I did not know what they were doing to her. These men, now about 2 dozen, had a full kitchen. They had a huge camp and a traditional medical team. How can they say they don't know where these people are? How can they say that? But the camps appeared isolated from each other. We heard noises afar, indicating it might be nuclear settlements of camps. Right in my presence, I saw them pack the remains of a woman. They took her and buried her a few meters away from us. She had tribal marks. I cannot describe the agony of 6 days in captivity in this little piece. I cannot talk about how they asked my husband to choose between myself being raped or his daughter being raped. My husband broke down in uncontrollable tears. One of them hit him saying, "Yoruba bastard, you dey cry, idiot." They now gave him an option that he should be raped by one homosexual among them. My husband, a devout Muslim. My husband is a devout Muslim. He told them that homosexual and rape of any kind was against Islam. They hit him with a butt of AK-47. What do you know about Islam? You can imagine, you are being asked to choose between being raped by a homosexual, your daughter just 9 years old, or your wife being raped. They gave the 4th option. If you fail to choose one, we would rape your daughter, rape you, the man, and rape me, the wife. I made myself the sacrificial lamb. My husband begged, saying they should name any price. One of them asked him to bend down. 3 beastly criminals sat on his back, jumping until he was too weak to stand. I was not allowed to put on any additional clothes. Imagine they rape you all night and they stop you from putting on any clothes for 24 hours. The rain fell once. I became a relic at a sexual museum for the armed men who in turn addressed me and asked questions about my financial standing. New Fulani men joined the camp. They organized military training for the new Fulani men that came, teaching them how to shoot and walk through circles of glowing fire. They were not released until after 6 days. We were not released until after 6 days. We had to walk the same zigzag journey back to the main road, our eyes blindfolded. During the negotiation to pay, they said the money was not for them alone, that they had to settle those who sent them. For me, I see a thriving organized crime supported by powerful political interests. Now, I do not think we were released to freedom after paying a whopping 8 million naira. I do not think we can ever be free. We can never be free from the anguish, the psychological trauma, the nightmares we suffered, the occasional fits of my daughter, her waking up at night behaving strangely, her asking the same question over and over, Mommy, why? And I do not have an answer. In my life, I have never passed through a torture chamber like this. I do not think any society should let this happen. I do not know the fate of those we met, and about 7 other people brought during the 6 days we were in captivity. What I saw was a nation that has collapsed, but pretends she lives. A people on life support. Crime is not restricted to Fulani people alone. We have Yoruba criminals, but I don't think Yoruba criminals are this beastly. These elements are savages. I can't imagine Yoruba thieves going to Sokoto or Maiduguri to kidnap Fulani people and keep them in their own bushes. It gives me mental torture that this is happening, and some people are even trying to justify or look for excuses. Well, as a devout Muslim, myself and my family have taken solace in Allah. Not the Nigerian police, not the army, not the government. We have taken our faith the way it came. This is supposed to be fate. I thank God that we successfully returned to where we live, thousands of miles from Nigeria. We thank God that we have made a vow. Never shall me, any of my children or husband in our lifetime visit Nigeria again. Our remains, anytime we die, will also not be buried in Nigeria. It was a suggestion my daughter made, which we all adopted. I pity the country. I pity her people who continuously walk like the living dead. I pity those who parade themselves as leaders because they know nothing about what is going on, and the abyss the country is sunk already. I pity Yoruba people. Oh, I pity you. I pity my people. For me, the issue is not about President Buhari. Democracy can produce anything, even the worst in the society. What I worry about is the conspiracy of silence by the people themselves. The ignorance, the treachery, and the illusion that one day things will get better through another election. Since I was born in Nigeria, each year had led from bad to worse and on and on. I do not have a solution to what is going on, but I think very soon hell will let loose upon the earth as long as there is no law and order and anarchy and the rule of brutes in the order of the day. Once again, there can never be anything more comforting than my husband, who saw what I went through, but was able to encourage me, and even encourage me to write this little piece after months of agony and sociological imbalance. Good night, Nigerians.
That was in 2018, 6 years ago. It is not too late that this security summit OWASI Imusheni last month. But it is the way forward to make sure that gbogbo tó jáde nínú communique will be implemented as swiftly and as quickly as possible. Ẹ̀gbọ́n tí ìyá yẹn sọ kọ́nà bá wà pẹ̀lú wọn. Wọ́n ní it is not even about President Muhammadu Buhari. Ṣé mọ̀ pé Buhari kọ́ ló wà níbẹ̀ mọ́ nísìn? Aṣíwájú ló wà níbẹ̀. Though aṣíwájú fún wọn ní blessing láti go ahead pẹ̀lú security summit yìí. Ṣé wọ́n máa equip àwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn pẹ̀lú same AK-49, not even ọ̀rọ̀ AK-46 òun tó wà nílẹ̀ mọ́ nísìn? Ṣé àwọn ọba wa máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń ṣe gbogbo tradition tó yẹ kó ṣe láti fi gbé sí gbogbo bọ́dà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá? Torí pé a mọ̀ pé àwọn nǹkan kan wà tí a lè máa ṣe náà yàtọ̀ sí pé a fẹ́ lo drone, a fẹ́ lo intelligence. Àbí after this summit tó bá tún máa fi di bí oṣù mẹ́fà a tún máa jáde padà a tún máa pariwo pé ní 6 months ago a máa ṣe summit kan a máa mọ kí ni the outcome of the summit. Àsìkò tẹ́yìn náà lè wá fi ohun tí yín fi bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí fọ́nrán tí nọ́mbà ń bẹ ní òkè tó jẹ́ +44 74 0440 5917. After tí a ti ka in tó jáde nínú communique, a ti lo fídíò méjì àní lójú méjì yẹn lọ lórí ètò talẹ́ yìí ìyẹn sísítà wa tí Ọlọ́run ṣe kẹ́ tó ráyè jáde nínú wàhálà àwọn Fúlàní terrorists àti mọ́mì wa tí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ní 6 years ago kí ọba Elédùmarè kó tún bàbá wa dúró ti mọ̀lẹ́bí náà. Kí lẹ̀yin wá rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń bẹ nílẹ̀ nípa ìdáàbòbò? Torí pé lára ìdáàbòbò yìí àwọn Fúlàní tí ń sọ̀rọ̀ ìyẹn àwọn Miyetti Allah kí ni wọ́n ń sọ? Wọ́n ní olóyè Ìgbòho àtàwa ẹmẹ̀wẹ̀ tá à ń béèrè fún Odùduwà Republic, Odùduwà Nation. Ó wà important pé kí wọ́n arrest gbogbo wa láì fi ẹnìkankan sílẹ̀. Ṣé bí gbogbo wa ṣe máa wò lélẹ́yìí ló dìgbà tí wọ́n bá wọlé sí wa lára tán? Kódà bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí ṣe mọ̀ pé 6 years ago ní 2018 nígbà tí ìyá yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ believe ìyá yẹn. 6 years down the line ìjà ṣe ń rọ́mọ Yorùbá kan lénìí tó sì tún sọ pé na lie ni gbogbo tá à ń sọ. Ẹ̀yin náà bá wa wá fi voice ká gbọ́n tí ẹ̀ ń sọ. Ẹ wá ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí kí ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní àṣálẹ́ yàtọ̀ sí pé ẹni tí ó ti fún wa ní super chat tí a ti dárúkọ lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ìyẹn Kúnlé Bakers. Mo kí ẹ ní gbogbo ìlú Miami kó àdúró tiwa ìyẹn easy. Mo kí Maize Gold. Mo kí Justice for the Masses. Justice is not just for one. Justice is for all. Mo kí bàbá wa Waris Jinadu. Mo kí bàbá wa Ismaila Rasheed. Mo kí Justice for Masses Media. Wọ́n ní when our king do the right thing, we will surely greet them. Mo kí Teni Ages. Mo kí our Grace Olúṣòótọ́. Mo kí Justice for Masses lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. As God voice of one. Mo kí yín. Mo kí bàbá wa Kúnlé Shita. Ìdí tá a ṣe ń kí gbogbo yín especially ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá comment is just to say pé àwa tájọ́ ń bára wa sọ̀rọ̀ kì í ṣe AI artificial intelligence èèyàn bíi tèmi náà lẹ́yìn. Àmọ́ yìí tí ẹ̀ kí ń comment bóyá fún ìdíkan àbí ìdíkejì gbogbo yín náà ni à ń kí but ẹ bá láǹfààní àti comment ẹ bá wa comment it helps àkókò gbọ́ lórí Facebook àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ ó gbà lórí Facebook torí pé Facebook yẹn tẹ̀ tí ó ti faṣọ ya àárín kankan ṣe lórí ẹ̀ mọ́. Mo kàn rántí pé nígbà tá a ṣe òkú ya Ìgbòho bí àwọn kan rò pé wọ́n máa àtáàkì wa ni wọ́n máa mú Ìgbòho ni a rí pé traffic yẹn ó dé 1.2 mo lè sọ pé jọba ẹ̀ ni traffic Facebook wa ti débẹ̀ rí. That means pé àwọn èèyàn wà tó yẹ kó wá gbọ́ wa bọ̀ fún ìdíkan àbí ìdíkejì wọ́n ní kankan tó fẹ́ gbọ́ torí pé n tá à ń sọ kò báyé mu lọ́dọ̀ tiwọn but ó kù díẹ̀ ni. Mo lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí Kúnlé Bakers lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí and thanks so much for the super chat. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ń sanwó fún wa àtẹni tó sanwó. Mo kí Pastor Mo. Mo kí ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kan sí easy. Mo kí àtó bí mi lọ́mọ. Mo kí Ike Oyelẹ́yẹ. Mo kí ẹni ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà ó yàtọ̀ sí ọ̀dàlẹ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ ṣé gan ni. Mo lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí bàbá wa tí à ń pè ní Akeem Olúwadámiláre. Mo kí ìyàwó Comfort Nikki. Mo kí bàbá wa Olúwadámiláre SG. Mo kí Josmark Àjàgbé. Mo kí ọkùnṣẹ́ takuntakun ọmọ kó ti pè ní aráyè sọ̀rọ̀. Mo kí bàbá Gbénga Ayọ̀délé Oòduà. Mo kí bàbá wa Adétúnjà Ayọ̀dèjì. Mo kí àwùṣẹ ògbóni àgbáyé ẹ ṣé gan ni. Ẹ bá kí gbogbo àwọn tí ó ń bẹ ní ìlú Èkìtì sí Oǹdó lọ́dọ̀ yín lọ́hùn. Mo kí Prince Adégbàmígbà Kenny Hassan. Mo kí Adéyẹmí J Olúwọlé. Mo kí yín. Mo kí ẹ ní gbogbo òkè lọ́hùn. Mo kí àwa Olúbùnmi Olóyèdé ayé lákẹ́. Mo kí Síkírù Àlàní. Mo kí bàbá wa mo kí Ẹniọlá Olúṣọ̀gá Ẹniọlá Matthew báńkì ìyàwó àtàwọn ọmọ òdẹ̀kọ́ àdúró tí olóyè Ìgbòho. Mo kí Adékọ́lá Ṣọgbọ̀n. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn mẹkáníìkì wa. Mo lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Instagram Chef Alani. Mo kí lórí Instagram. Mo kí bàbá wa Ara Bagore One. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn ọba. Mo kí àwọn tó wà lórí MixLR pé ẹ ṣé gan ikú gbogbo wa. Mo kí Ògúnmọ́lá ó ní our obas mo ṣe ẹni mẹ́rìnlélógún so ìyẹn á máa jẹ́ ọjọ́ kẹta oṣù kẹta mẹ́rìnlélógún ọdún 2024. Àwọn méje ló ń wò wá lórí ló ń gbọ́ wa rádà lórí MixLR. Mo kí àwa Amudalat Owóyẹmí Prince Adébáyọ̀. Mo kí yín Àwọ́lù mate. Mo kí yín ẹ ṣé gan ni tẹ́ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Erin Moje Ọmọsájà. Mo kí yín TV ẹni ká fọ́lọ̀ yín náà ẹ jẹ́ káwa náà fọ́lọ̀ yín nígbà tẹ́yìn náà ti fọ́lọ̀ wa. Mo kí bàbá wa Òjó Ayọ̀délé. Mo kí Silver Badmus. Mo kí Mr. Deni Ọláyẹmí Coker. Mo kí Mr. Saheed Balogun. kọ́lọ̀ ọ̀bẹ Elédùmarè kó bá foríjì sí brother wa àti Mr. Ibro ọ̀ṣaláìsí àìwáyé má wà kan ò sí ìyá wa Wúrà Adébíyọ̀tì mú kí yín. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré kí àwọn tí ó kù náà gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìṣe wa ní orí ètò tiwa níbí torí pé kíkí lọmọ Yorùbá ń kíra wọn. Ìyàwó Elizabeth mú kí yín, mo kẹ́rin tẹ́ wà lórí Koiki Media, Ade Invest mú kí yín. We are running multiple platforms and we all appreciate every single one of you tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa torí pé without ẹ̀yin kò sí àwa o torí pé ẹ̀yin gangan ni igi tó dúró tì wá lẹ́yìn tí gbogbo wa fi ń ráyè gbọ́ra wa títí di wákàtí. Mo kí ọ̀run tó wà lórí Koiki Media Odùduwà, mo kí àdìtú ọ̀rọ̀, mo kí àwọn Koiki Media team gbogbo wọn ní ká máa kí yín fún iṣẹ́ takuntakun tí gbogbo wa ṣe ní gbogbo ìwé last week. Mo kí ẹ̀yin kò sí àwa o torí pé mo kí Ọlánipẹ̀kun, mo kí ẹ plenty, Akeem Ayọ̀délé mo kí bàbá mi. Àwọn Miyetti Allah leader common sense wọn ní rárá bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Àbáyọ̀mí mo kí yín. Mo kí Kọ́míṣọlá kò gbọdọ̀ kú Yorùbá níyì, mo kí olórí Títílayọ̀, mo kí olórí Èkó, mo pẹ́ ń bẹ lábẹ́ ètò Alhaji Alabi Bashiru, mo wá kí gbogbo ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ látòkè láàyò ẹnìkankan sílẹ̀ Prince Adébáyọ̀ Shitu. Ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sínú program yẹn bí a ṣe ń bá ètò yẹn lọ torí pé we are not here all night. Program yóò ní ju 2 hours lọ torí pé kò ń ṣe pé kó gùn ló matter, substance làwọn agbé dání, àwọn ò kì í sọ̀rọ̀ ká má rí ẹ̀rí níbẹ̀. Mo kí Peter George, there is no going back, Yorùbá must be liberated. Mo kí ìyàwó Basirat, mo kí ìyàwó Adéat Ọ̀dẹ́wálé bí gbogbo ìlú Àjà ẹ̀ṣẹ̀gan ẹ̀kọ́ àdúró tiwa. Now gbogbo ala ti gbọ́ in táwọn ọba wa sọ. Now we expect our governors to also react as swiftly and as quickly as possible. They have everything lọ́wọ́ wọn, gbogbo nǹkan ló ní. Wọ́n ní àwọn expertise. Nàìjíríà ò tí pín, but àdúrà tá à ń gbà ni pé kó pín ní kíákíá kó má tẹ̀ pẹ́ ju bó ṣe yẹ lọ. But àwọn governors wa ni wọ́n ní gbogbo resources lọ́wọ́. Resources táwa ní ni media ta fi ń sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí. Gbogbo tá a dẹ̀ ń sọ ló ń dé palace, ló ń dé ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn baálẹ̀, ló ń dọ́dọ̀ àwọn olóṣèlú, ló ń dọ́dọ̀ each of our representatives. But the question is, how are they working to make sure that in tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí, especially the insecurity, will be something that will be maintained? Kò dẹ̀ sí bá ṣe fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ insecurity. Gbogbo alágbọ́n kan tí the late Dr. Malafia sọ, ó ní tó bá parí operation wọn nínú rural area, ó ní operation yẹn máa gbé wọn jáde o tá a bá ṣọ́ra, tá a bá stop wọn ní kíákíá, they will become very powerful. Tẹ bá gbọ́ nǹkan tí sister wa yẹn sọ, ìyẹn fídíò tá a play yẹn, tẹ bá tún lọ tún gbọ́ again, wọ́n ní àwọn tọ́jọ́ ń fún wọn ní information. Kò ń ṣe pé wọ́n máa ń tọ́ máa kidnap, but lọ́dọ̀ àwọn ọba wa nínú communique tó sọ yìí, it indicates that somebody is giving some information látara pé àwọn ọba ló ń lọ yìí, tẹ bá lè rí wọn mú torí pé the worst case will be for Fulani terrorists láti kidnap ọba kọ́ wa máa ṣe fídíò ọba. Ẹ mọ̀ pé ìtọ́tẹ̀ ṣe ń pa wọ́n tí ò tẹ́ wa lọ́rùn, ṣe mọ̀ pé ó wà very disheartening, ó wà very very upsetting kí Fulani terrorists wá mú ọba kọ́ wa bọ́ sí ṣòkòtò kọ́ wa máa fídíò wọn. I mean America gan tó bá mú àwọn sójà wọn táwọn terrorists bá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ara máa ń ni wọ́n gan. But a dúpẹ́ pé àwọn ọba tí wọ́n ń pa yẹn àbí tó wàjà kò ń ṣe for anything, but at least it still protect them, because the least what we expect is pé kọ́ bá kan di pé wọ́n máa mú mọ́lẹ̀. So mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí pé ọba Elédùmarè kó túbọ̀ dá ìdáàbò ẹ̀ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá nílé lóko. Kò wá ń ṣe àwa nìkan ni ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ń ṣẹlẹ̀ sí. Bó ṣe ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ tiwa ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ọ̀dọ̀ tàwọn ti ilẹ̀ Ìgbò náà àti àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù. Ẹjẹ́ àgbọ̀n tí Màláfíà Ọ̀bádíà sọ láìpẹ́ kó tó di pé ọlọ́jọ́ dé wá bá.
Which is it for you, Dr. Obadiah? Do you think the government is unwilling or unable to protect the people of Southern Kaduna?
In fact, it is not only unable, it is unwilling, and we have good reason to feel that they are part and parcel of the killers. Let me make some revelations to you.
That's a very big allegation, Dr. Obadiah. The government is part and parcel of the killers.
Yes.
That's big.
Yes, yeah. Okay, how will the government just say, oh, it is revenge killing and so on? Then you leave it there. Oh, because it is revenge killing and so on and so forth. The body language of this administration, the body language of the state government shows clearly that they have a hand in the killings. No doubt about it. Because, you see, General Abacha, and people don't give him his due. Do you think you would have tolerated such nonsense? And let me make some revelations, because some of us also have our own intelligence networks.
Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. One or two who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network. During this lockdown, their planes were moving up and down as though there was no lockdown. Moving ammunitions, moving logistics, moving money, and distributing them in different parts of the country. They are already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They are everywhere. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will move to phase 2. The phase 2 is they will go into the urban cities, going from house to house, killing prominent people. I can tell you, this is the game plan. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria.
Well, it seems that many of us, did not, Emma Bino, did not believe Malafia until things started coming closer and closer. We have catalogs of different atrocities tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Southwest. Mo ń greet brother ìyá bàbá kan ní bàbá wa Ayọ̀ Ọmọlẹ́wà ní please ìgbìyànjú àwọn fún ìjọba Nàìjíríà ni pé kó proscribe Miyetti Allah completely and check all the activities of Fulanis in the Yoruba land. Mo ti ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ díẹ̀ lórí Miyetti Allah. Why is Miyetti Allah becoming very relevant today? Kò ju pé torí Babangida ó fún wọn ní access tí wọ́n fi di pé wọ́n wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ tó di pé ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń sọ wọ́n ń sọ sí gbogbo wa kò ń ṣe fún olóyè Ìgbòho nìkan ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ fún. They are actually responding back to each and every single one of us. Ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré gbé kọ́ọ̀lì, like I said, the whole program is just under 2 hours. So tó bá jẹ́ kọ́ọ̀bì méjì mẹ́ta ló bá wọlé àgbé wọlé. Hello caller, ẹ bá gbóhùn sókè ní kíákíá torí àsìkò. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Ètò nìyẹn. À ń gbọ́ yẹn gbóhùn sókè.
First of all, ọ̀rọ̀ solid security tí wọ́n ṣe, it is very very good. Ipe wọ́n provide security for Yorùbá. Àní sọ fún torí pé a fẹ́ dá dúró kó má ṣe security. Iṣẹ́ àwọn ọba àti àwọn governors wọ́n dáná gbogbo àwọn Yorùbá. But àwa tá a mọ̀ pé a ní right to self-determination, we still stand firm on our right to that. Yoruba nation is what we want.
Yeah.
Tinubu, come up with agenda 2027 because Tinubu, mention one year, is a big man. We still continue to trade anything for his own ambition. So, like, and one more thing, ẹ jẹ́ kí àwọn ẹni sọ fún ṣe fún àwọn ọba and all that, ẹ jẹ́ kí wọ́n máa ṣe security for Yorùbá. Cherry ship at ìmọ̀ràn yìí o. Cherry security tí wọ́n wọ́n máa involve pẹ̀lú àwọn ọba. Because cherry gbogbo nǹkan tó dá sọ́ọ̀fù sílẹ̀ pé ship sọ pé àwọn ti security nígbà tí àwọn dá sílẹ̀ àwọn youth lọ máa register sílẹ̀ láti jà fún ilẹ̀ bàbá wa. And láti gbà ní òun ní tí wọ́n ti dé ẹ̀dẹ̀ there. Because wọ́n mọ̀ pé ship will never compromise. Ní àti ọjọ́ tí wọ́n ti sọ pé ìjọba wà nílẹ̀ tó máa gbé wọn lọ ẹni tó máa bá sùn ẹni tó máa rí èsì. ṣé ní ẹni so àwa aṣèlú lórí pé a ní Yorùbá nation oníkọ̀ọ́ta lórí ní because identity wa náà ti gbà lọ yẹn we need to take it back. so ọ̀gá mi kò rí Yorùbá ẹni náà ẹ gbọ́ ẹ̀dínwó tí wọ́n máa yẹn ṣe láti 2018 wọ́n wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé Yorùbá pásítà ẹjọ́ ṣó yàtọ̀ sí nǹkan tí wọ́n mọ̀ kékeré yẹn sọ tí wọ́n tó bá mọ̀ ní Yorùbá wọ́n máa pa Yorùbá nípa ṣé ẹjọ́ kí ni ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ Yorùbá pẹ̀lú wọn. so àbùkù wọn ní Yorùbá torí pé gbogbo Yorùbá náà ní àwọn other tribe tí wọ́n máa ń dìbò ìyá wọn ọ̀sẹ̀ bá rí wọn lórí social media wọ́n ṣe máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá tó máa ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ní pé most of them ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni wọ́n wà tí wọ́n jẹ mú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ìyẹn bàtà bá gba Yorùbá nation gbogbo ìyẹn máa wà sorted. ó bọ̀rọ̀ ní pé Yorùbá nation kò àdúgbò àjù orí ẹ̀ máa dúró lé àwọn ọba lọ́pọ̀ tó ní gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀ tí wọ́n dábò ní Yorùbá ọ̀wé àwa tí a ti máa ń jà self-determination it is our right àti máa gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa we have right to stand as a nation. Thank you very much.
Well, that is a brilliant one from the contributor on the line there. The benefit of Yoruba nation is what is behind my screen. One of those benefits is our identity. What are we fighting for? Is it different from what other countries are fighting for? This is what we are fighting for from the same perspective of the Scottish people. And bí sister wa ṣe sọ, gbogbo security summit tó ń ṣe yìí, gbogbo agenda tí wọn kò ní anything ṣe pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ campaign for the Yoruba nation. But the security of Yoruba land is important, and we continue to hope that our governors and the representatives will protect our people, because ẹ̀ńtẹ̀sẹ̀ ǹdẹ̀wó sí tẹni kó lọ fi dáko kò likely kó dáko yẹn, and many people are now starving because we are not getting enough food within the southwest part of Yoruba land. That is now a security threat. The moment there's a food security threat in Europe, that becomes a disaster. We saw many videos, if you have been following us on our platform, up to today in Abuja, a warehouse that have food stuff for NEMA was busted. More vehicles are stopped on the road in the north where they are hijacking. Even if it's sugar alone, they don't care. Because I think the one that they hijacked was just the sugar. I don't know what they're going to do with sugar without Gary, but it shows that people care less whatever is on the truck. And that is now becoming a big, massive problem. But the most important thing that we are fighting for is this, according to what the Scottish people are fighting for. It is an inalienable right. And that right will be respected by the present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that the Yoruba people do not want to have any relationship anymore with the contraction matched together, put together, known as the 1914 fraudulent amalgamation by Britain. Britain will not allow Nigeria to break. It does not matter how much effort you put from here. We need that effort from the other side, but we need all collective effort. What we need to be doing right now is not just to fight the security, but also to say to those in charge of the power to be in the Southwest that the Yoruba people do not want to be part of Nigeria anymore.
Other countries were refused at first, but we have to remember, and this is a really important point, that self-determination is an inalienable international right and a law as well. And other countries will recognise Scotland's democratic choice expressed at the ballot box. They will recognise that because that is the route that many other countries have taken in order to become independent. And just to make that point, that international law is very pragmatic on that point, so we should have confidence.
So we hope that we will have confidence as well that the right of the Yoruba people will be respected, and it has to be respected. We've given a bit of background to Miyetti Allah before on this platform, but just for those of you that have never come across such video, who are the Miyetti Allah and how did they become a very powerful organization in the decision making in Nigeria today. Miyetti Allah Formation was set up, known as the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN. That is the full meaning, Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association. But their full, or their short is called MACBAN. It was something that started in 1979, founded in Kaduna State. The purpose was promoting the welfare of the Fulani pastoralist. And Olonkwene pastoralist. These are Fulani herdsmen or Fulani pastoralist and nomadic or semi-nomadic Fulani people whose primary occupation is raising livestock. There's nothing wrong in that, if that is the job they want to do. But their own job today is having a big impact on the lives of the rest of us. So the Fulani today, their own job, which is rearing of màálù, máa sin màálù ló ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fi tiwọn, wọ́n fi ń kó bá àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù. Kò wá ń ṣe Fulani inú igbó nìkan. Even on the Yoruba economy today, the reason why the Yoruba economy is down, ìdí tí púpọ̀ nínú yín tẹ́ ṣe ń struggle tó yẹ pé iṣẹ́ tẹ̀ ń ṣe ó dàbí ìgbà tí kò tóra wọn, is because Fulani tó wà níbẹ̀ lánàá tí a mọ̀ sí President Muhammadu Buhari, ara àwọn Fulani lòun náà, because ọmọ Niger ni, ìyá ẹ̀ ni ọmọ Nàìjíríà, ọmọ Niger ni bàbá ẹ̀. But as we know, Niger àti Nigeria ó dàbí Benin sáwà náà ni. So you can go in and out, even though it's very difficult for an average Yoruba man not to travel through the borderline. So what has happened is that Fulani was not even part of Nigeria. They are people that move around and they are looking for where it is comfortable to settle down. Gbogbo Fulani tó ń dẹran ní Ghana, gbogbo wọn ló ti lé dànù. The problem táwa ní lọ́dọ̀ tiwa ni pé we know that some of our obas, kings, they are also making use of them and àwọn olówó kọ̀ọ̀kan because wọ́n fi pé àwọn tó mọ̀ nípa máa sin màálù nìyẹn. Though that narrative is probably changing bit by bit. But today, these same set of people, let's first give us the background of the Fulani people or Fulani herdsmen. Fulani herdsmen or Fulani pastoralists are nomadic or semi-nomadic. They are also known as Fulani people. Who are the Fulani people? That they are also known as the Fula people. The Fula or Fulani or Fube people is an ethnic group in Sahara, Sahel, and West Africa. Tabasoko West Africa. Nigeria wà lára part of West Africa. They are widely dispersed across the region, inhabiting many countries. They live mainly in West Africa and the northern part of Central Africa, South Sudan, and Darfur, and regions near the Red Sea coast in Sudan. The approximate number of the Fula, also known as the Fulani people, is unknown due to clashing definition regarding the Fula ethnicity. Various estimated put the figure between 25 and 40 million of them worldwide. Some of them, very, very small percentage, are well-read. They live in America and they are also the one funding the one at the bottom. But the ones that are not well-read are well taken over, like I wanted to take over. When you look at Kano State, let me give you Ganduje as an example. Ganduje, the former Kano State governor, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, is a Fulani man, but he has been able to live in Nigeria using the Nigerian wealth, and as I speak today, is the current chairman of the APC. So problem they are well established already in that contraction you call Nigeria. So to be able to bring people like this down will be very, very difficult. Ganduje is sorry, video kan pé Fulani lòun, and báwọn ọ̀rẹ́ ṣe ń dẹran láyé àtijọ́ kò lè possible mọ́ kó máa gbé ẹran láti north lọ sí sàlẹ̀. tó máa fi jẹ oko títí tó máa fi dé sàlẹ̀. So let's take a little bit of background of Ganduje. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, OFR, born on the 25th of December 1949, is a Nigerian politician who served as the governor of Kano State from 2015 to 2023. He previously served as Rabiu Kwankwaso deputy governor twice from 1999. So you can see that they are very, very powerful. So Ganduje has been in the government as far back as since 1999, because he was the deputy to Rabiu Kwankwaso from 1999 to 2003. Then from 2011 to 2015, he's a member and the national chairman of the ruling party, which is the current party today. So when we are talking about Tinubu is going to complete his tenure, we are going to have issues because Ganduje still have a stake in the north as a Fulani man. So in Thomas Shishenikwe, Tinubu bagbe ìjọba sílẹ̀ padà, Ganduje will still be able to operate not as a Nigerian, but for the interest of the Fulani people. Let's look at his background, which is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to expand it a little bit so that we can see it a little bit much better. So if you look at the background of Ganduje here, Ganduje was born in 1939 to a Fulani family in the village of Ganduje, Dawakin, Tofa local government area of Kano State. Did you hear that? He was born to a Fulani family, but he became a very powerful man today with the interest of Nigeria. So, in Yoruba, then defending Nigeria, what you are doing is you are protecting people like these that will become more powerful. Owolaye Kawide, he is well read. And let me give you his background a little bit more. He began his early education in a Quranic and Ismail school at his village, where he was trained in Islamic knowledge. But one more way, for them to be able to fit into the narrative, so somebody like him, he later moved to the headquarters of his local government, where he now attended Dawakin Tofa Primary School from 1956. Now, what the British have done, the British is a very cunning country. During that era. In that 1956, Britain ti mọ̀ pé àwa Yorùbá kan máa bínú tán, a máa dìde tán. So they have to start training and building another set of people to challenge people like Awolowo. But as at the time tí àwọn ilé tí ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ primary, àwa ti ní àwọn tó jẹ́ university degree holder. But today, the same man tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ education life pẹ̀lú Quran, ó ti di APC chairman today. So I hope we continue on social. So you understand this. That is what they've done. They've prepared them for today. So in 1956, wọ́n ní kó lọ kàwé. Ní ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa, gbogbo wa la mọ̀ pé bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ make education available for everybody. Ìyẹn ni o lè délé ìdílé kan nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ́nu, wọ́n sì máa kàdé up to primary school. Maybe not today because of our governors or support education to pọ̀. Now, after tó ṣe tán ní primary school, ó lọ sí Ganduje attended the prestigious, ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tó sọ, tó bá sọ pé nǹkan prestigious, wọ́n mọ̀ prepare irú àwọn ilé fún ọjọ́ òní. So what you are fighting for, defending Nigeria, is that Nigeria will go back to people like this, and they will control Nigeria to the narrative of allowing the Fulani to settle down. Gbogbo ilé tí Tinubu fún wọn access pé kán lọ bá kán ṣe security summit. By the time tí Buhari wà níbẹ̀, mo rò pé wọ́n rí security summit kankan ṣe ní Palace Ọba. Now, nígbà tó ṣe tán, ó lọ sí Government College, Bínú, from 1964, 4 years after àgbà independent, títí di 1968. As of 1968, ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà ti ń ní mẹ́hẹ̀ because a ti ń lọ sógun civil war níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. From there, Ganduje attended Advanced Teachers College, Kano, from 1969 to 1972. He then attended Ahmadu Bello University, located in Zaria, where he graduated with a Bachelor of Science Education in 1975. In 1979, he obtained a master's degree in Applied Educational Psychology from Bayero University, Kano. Later, Ganduje returned to Ahmadu Bello University from 1984 to 1985 for a master. And then he received a doctorate in public administration at the University of Ibadan. So all these individuals, were well planned around us. And today, Otiwadi, not just the governor, he has become very powerful in today's administration. Without Gandude Lady, Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ gan kò lè débi tó ń lọ. So anything I rò pé à ń bá Tinubu jà, I think you should start opening your eyes that people like Gandude and the rest of them, what for there? I'm just using it because I know, because ó ti sọ mo gbọ́ fídíò yẹn bọ́ mo lè máa wá fídíò yẹn nísìnyí pé thank you so much my boy pé ọmọ Fúlàní lòun if you get me class. So mo ń bẹ̀ wá mo rọ̀ wá any issue pẹ̀lú President Bola Tinubu, but we are concerned that the Fulani people, so that way, what we are seeing today, they are becoming very powerful and they are likely to overrun us if care is not taken. Let's go further. A significant proportion of the Fulani, a third or an estimated 7 to 10 million, are pastoralists, and their ethnic group as the largest nomadic pastoral community in the world. As an ethnic, I've gone too far. The majority of the Fulani ethnic group considered of semi-sedentary people, as well as sedentary settler farmers, settle kakiri. Wherever they go, they settle down and they clean up that place, regardless of who owns that place. Today, if care is not taken, they will overrun us. So let's look at the map, which is just the one under my own image. I don't know whether you can see it properly, but I'm going to read it out. As of today, we are looking at about 15 million Fulani people are currently in Nigeria. That's about 6.6%. 15 million of them. And before you know, one Mama BC, one Mama Resi, they become very powerful, they become very strong. Well, strong in it, and Rigan today, where he is today. So, Haiti and Sofonpe, let us move out of Nigeria today. You are saying we should keep quiet because you love Nigeria so much. You don't want to sacrifice your Yoruba-ness, your Yoruba nationality as against the Nigeria of today. I just hope it will not be too late for us. Let's go back for the Miyetti Allah as we continue to use the last part of my program to discuss a little bit about them. We've done already 1 hour 43 minutes. I have 15 minutes before the end of the program. My name is Olami KOIKI. If you are new to the platform, this platform is dedicated not for any other thing but the liberation of the Yoruba people from the contraction known as Nigeria. And by doing that, that means that self-determination, which is what we are asking for, says, and I quote, Article 3, indigenous people. We are not tribes. We are indigenous people, or we are also be called ethnic people. If anybody is calling you a tribe, ask them, indigenous peoples have the right to self-determination. By the factual of that right, they are freely determining their political status, not the one that you're currently running in the Kaja, Nigeria today. Freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. When we talk about the benefit, there's so much benefit for us. If we pull out of Nigeria, we have what it takes to be able to build our own system. A system that works for us, a system that determines that we can provide for ourselves, we can defend ourselves, and we can also fund our own economy. But what we are having is that we have the interest of so many criminals, of the politicians that do not want you to enjoy this kind of benefit. So when you talk about the Yoruba nation today, these are one out of so many benefits that we put together through one of our comrades, Evangelist Jide Ige. He talked about the identity, the culture. He talks about our passport, our currency. He talks about the Medicare, the education. They also reviving back a lot of industry. He talks about the Yoruba Premier League. Today, Manchester lost against Man City, even almost towards the end of the game. You can see that that is one of the biggest entertainment industry in the world today. Premier League, Italian League. What about you? Are you not thinking about a future Yoruba Premier League where many other sport guys can come into the country and play football? We'll have our own airport. Start thinking like that. But if you're not thinking like that, that means you are still thinking that one day you can beat this Miyetti Allah. The Miyetti Allah that was only established in Kaduna just less than 17 years they were unable to operate, is now sending a message to me and you that says they should arrest Sunday IGBOHO. That is the danger we are facing already today. If they can talk like this, it's because they have the backing of many powerful Fulanis around the world that is telling them that Nigeria belongs to them. Well, Nigeria can belong to them in the north. It doesn't belong to them in the Yoruba land. We own the Yoruba land, and when we say Fulani, probably maybe not every one of them, as long as they're able to live with us in a very conducive environment. I pity many Yoruba people, just like our mother said in that particular broadcast. Like I said, MACBAN represents about 100,000 semi-nomad and nomad in the country. They've become very powerful. They never started the operation until 1986. I've done a lot of program about this. You can go back and find out in many of my previous conversations. As I say all the time, maybe we should listen one more time to this if we are truly Nigerians as we are called. Let's listen to this.
There is no land called Nigeria. There is no language called Nigeria. There are no people called Nigerians. We are only deceiving ourselves.
We are not Nigerian.
Okay, where is Nigeria where is the land called Nigeria? What is the Nigerian language? We are nations that had been forced together to live in one pathetic country. So anybody who goes there today to say pray for Nigeria, that person is just deceiving himself, because the people who want to be that Nigeria had not sat down to agree if they want to be Nigeria.
If I may just
Sunday IGBOHO,
yes,
who was also arrested,
right.
I've written severally on it that he should also, because his determination for ODUDUWA Republic is not a crime known international law.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. That's the point I'm trying to raise with you. If it were not signaled to non-state actors and other ethnic agitators that they can actually go ahead, in the event that President Muhammadu Buhari really responds to your appeal.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
You and I, we are living in Nigeria. You are talking about harmless people who are not armed. Are you not aware that in this country, some Boko Haram, some people accused of Boko Haram were released and traded for others by way of a quid pro quo? They say, okay, release some of us, then we will release some of your detained citizens. Are you not aware that that has gone on in this country? So what is the bad precedent of saying a non-violent person should be released from detention, from illegal detention, a detention that the United Nations has been found to be illegal and to be unconstitutional and to be torturous? I do not see anything that is setting any bad precedent there in a situation where as a matter of fact, some Boko Haram and armed bandits are being released in exchange for some of their members, where kidnappers are demanding from parents of children they have kidnapped to buy tarodo, tatache, tomatoes, vegetable oil, palm oil, uba, to buy salt, to buy rice, for them, beans, yams, for them to feed their children so as to keep them alive, to enable the parents pay ransom for them. What is it?
Did you hear that? To enable them to pay ransom. Just on that, a minute plus, Damilare or Dami1, please go ahead, because we are winding down this program and it will not go more than 2 hours, and I only have 10 minutes. So I'm going to give you just a minute and a half. Go ahead. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Good evening to everybody. I just wanted to use this medium to admonish and to encourage and to express my full support and just admiration for this whole thing. I strongly believe it's going places, and I do hope and believe. I hope that this whole thing becomes a reality. I teach government, and I teach my students this thing, especially when it comes to topics related to federalism. And this week I'll be teaching them on the topic nationalism. I'll be, putting out these stuffs that, there is no true nationalism in the country, and it has never been. I mean, judging by the proto-nationalists, and you found out that all these NYM, most of them, when they established this NYM of it, I came to realize that at least 80% of them, they were all nationalists by default for one purpose: greed, fame, arrogance. Except the likes of Obafemi Awolowo, who stood his ground that no, we cannot continue after the British system. They put the system in place. They call it federalism. They call it whatever name. And when they left, there's still a continuation regarding. And the likes of Awolowo, who had a pure mind, for joining the NYM movement, they had this purpose that when the British eventually leaves, everybody should come together and decide, should we continue or should we, go our separate ways? Because for them, it was all about Africa. If you look at the lives of Muammar Gaddafi, same thing. And there's this person that actually posts on Twitter. The person will say, and which is the truth that come to realize that anybody who is for Africa, who is for the black prosperity, who need to see a fellow black man suffer, who need to see a fellow black man living as a destitute on the street, then that person is the enemy of people like Nnamdi Azikiwe of today, like Tinubu of today, is the enemy of the whites. So, but I do hope that this becomes a reality because it looks hopeless. It looks hopeless. Yeah, I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for that very brilliant contribution. And we try as much as possible to make sure that everyone is inclusive when we are in our program. It's a very long week for me. I would have loved to take it to 3 hours, but I don't have the strength tonight. But be rest assured that we'll be back again as we do all the time on this platform where we educate ourselves. We have to argue, we have to disagree, we have to swear, but we are called Ogunwusi. We have the Ogunwusi ethos. And we don't hate any other indigenous or ethnic people. We are just very uncomfortable with some of them, regardless of wherever they are in our territory today. But for us to be able to maintain that territorial ground, and I'm not talking about just the Igbos, I'm talking about even the Oyibo that are coming in and taking advantage of us. And there's a particular video of the Inca grandson that is going into circulation, in the recent about how Apapa Port is controlled by English people. And I've talked about it as well. We don't own Apapa today. Many of you don't know that. Apapa doesn't belong to us anymore. It is completely out of our hand. It's no longer in control because what he either because he needs a family when you go in is a mafia. But I pity a lot of Yoruba people that think, we still own Apapa because you can see it there. Someone who knows that. The president knows that. So, but the question we're always more focused is about the Igbos. Oh yes, they have their own issues surrounding us as people. I'm not going to take any more calls as we speak tonight because I have about just 6 minutes to the end of the program. But we should be worried about the Lebanese, the Indian, the Chinese. The Chinese are just operating as if, they don't even care about who we are. So we hope that we can come together as Yoruba people. Whether you are the one that disagree with me, whether I am the one that disagree with you, we have to come in one voice and say enough is enough and take back the control of our territorial ground and decide how we want to run it among ourselves. Even some say we cannot live together. I don't think so. We can live together because we're still living together. We live together within the territory. So, Kilo Wamba Waleru. And I keep asking this question. If our governors... Yes.
Can I quickly comment, sir? You see, referendum, I have been saying it when I go to all these political spaces on Twitter. I tell them, achieving referendum is not mathematics. This thing can be done within 2-3 months. And then you let the people go. But the landlords of this Sodom and Gomorrah, they won't let it. And you found out that at least as at now, at least the landlords are like 70-60%. Yes, of this land of this Sodom and Gomorrah, the landlords, I repeat, the owners of this Sodom and Gomorrah of the country, they are up to 60-70. And if that is the case, coming from the southwest, coming from Eko, Abeokuta, Ibadan, the rest, I mean, there's a big problem. It means that even if this thing will to become a reality, then all these people need to be washed out, or to be washed out, just like what happened in Ghana. Or I mean, in all this country where these people were washed out and cleaned and wiped out of the heart.
All right. Well, you've had it there from a lecturer, and we hope that all our lecturers, it's not going to stop your pension. It's not going to stop anything. There can be a process that can start today to de-amalgamate Nigeria that would not be as painful as many of us that would have loved it. But if all this doesn't happen, like I said, we will have to do whatever is necessary. I know you're always thinking that I just say all these words out. We mean it. I am not scared to say it. British America. If you think that I am the only one that mean it, look, many Yoruba people, they are just still respecting what we are saying. So by the stage, come on, they will do whatever they need to do. But we don't need to go through that route. IRA fought the British to get their way out. Many people died. British also interfere with trying to penetrate them. I have said it so many times. Oxford Circus that you see there was bombed many times. We don't need to go through that route. But if you think that Akonsoro, we're just sitting here and we cannot do anything, we are even much better than that time. So thank you so much for everyone that have joined tonight. I hope you have a very blessed Sunday. And I hope you all that went to church pray for Yoruba people to exit Nigeria. If you're still praying for Nigeria, I don't know what you're praying for, because from the spiritual realm, Nigeria is dead. If you're new to the platform, you're probably Yimusimi. Well, it will happen in our lifetime. I am 40 plus. Tinubu is older than me. He will not be as strong as me in another 10 years. I mean, he will not be as strong. He might have money and everything, but we can all pull out together. But do I trust Tinubu? I don't. He has his own agenda. Our own agenda is to pull out of Nigeria without him. And there's a countdown. Every day we do nothing, we are still in that danger. Olayomi KOIKI is my name. Thank you so much to all our Biafrans, the Amazonia, the Scottish, the Wales, if you're from Caribbean. I say shout out to you. If you're watching me from Africa, shout out to every one of you from Benin Republic, from Germany, from the 7th continent of the world. We must not back down because Tinubu is there. This is the time that we pull out as quickly as possible, but it can be done with everyone. Igboho is 1 billion, but we can all lock it in and pull it out successfully. It's not easy for you to buy data. I know some data, my bill will be coming out from my Sky. It's about almost 50-something pounds. Even my children are complaining now that I need to increase the internet speed, and that will be probably another extra 10 pounds. I don't know. So Konjipawa not free. If I don't have internet, I cannot come out like this and speak to you. So, but we know that in Nigeria, nothing comes free, just as nothing comes free. We're already in recession in UK as well. We can only hope for the best. But the globalists, the IMF, the World Bank, the European Union, maybe not all the countries in the European Union, but majority of them love the way Africa is, so that we can be begging for their visas, begging to get into their country, when they should be begging to come into Yoruba land. But who is going to come into Yoruba land only for their resources and not for the benefit of the true indigenous people? KOIKIMEDIA, shout out. Bye for now. Till tomorrow, apart from if there's any need for the breaking news. If otherwise, Mokibuwa, Shegwana, Boluwatife, Waris Dinado, Easy, Eniola Dewale, Adekunle, and every single one that joined us, Yoruba Nation Now, and the rest of you on the Twitter space, I say thank you so much. Honor, Adiola, Fortune, Michael. If I didn't mention your name, Don't take it personal. Thank you so much. Bye for now.